Tonight from Washington, D.C. at RFK Stadium, the fans are excited for the battle for the real HU. The Howard University Bison, the Hampton University Pirates. We settled it on the field in D.C. right now. And we welcome you to the AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. And tonight from historic RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., it's a MEAC matchup between the Howard Bison and the Hampton Pirates, along with former collegiate NFL quarterback Jay Walker. I am Mark Neely. Welcome to D.C. And, Jay, it is time for conference football in the MEAC.
The money games are out of the way. That's like the preseason. Hampton had a pretty decent preseason, high expectation. Howard University had about as poor preseason as you can have. It's conference play time. All the games really count right now.
And into conference game number one for the Bison, it's a change of quarterback. They bring in Jamie Cunningham to start.
Jamie Cunningham has a terrific opportunity right now to make an immediate impact on the program. He's been the backup to record-setting quarterback Greg McGee for the past 3 years. It's his football team now. They need him to spark this offense and give them some confidence.
Well, the Hampton football team belongs to a transfer from Virginia quarterback David Watford.
David Watford is a special talent. He's got an opportunity to be the best quarterback in the Mid-East Athletic Conference. The transfer from the University of Virginia has a very quick release with a high football IQ. Look for David Watford to be an immediate impact player in the MEAC Conference.
On the offensive side for the Pirates, Watford. On the defensive side, though, Miles Grooms can make it a nightmare for quarterbacks.
Miles Grooms is probably the best NFL prospect on the field tonight. From his defensive end position, he has the ability to create havoc in the opposing backfield.
There is Grooms getting stretched. Hampton actually won the toss and deferred. So they are going to kick off, and Howard will receive. You look at the numbers this season so far, just in 2 games for Grooms.
Yeah, Grooms has great size, too. The defensive end, 6'4", 250 pounds with a nice motor. And I can understand the decision by Hampton to defer. You're taking on a Howard University offense that is yet to score a point this season. Why not give them the ball, try and win the battlefield position early?
Yeah, and the losses to Appalachian State and Boston College, Howard outscored 125-0 in those 2 games. Adam Brown to kick off for Hampton. We're set to go. There's a freshman back, Guy Lemonnier, and Robert Mercer for the Bison, and we're set to go. The battle for the real HU is underway. A short kick taken at the 16 by Lemonnier. And he's brought down about the 25, just across the 26-yard line. And that's where Howard will begin. Well, Bison fans did not see Jamie Cunningham the first 2 games, and there was a very good reason for that, Jay.
Yeah, he was sitting out because of an academic suspension. He's back with the team. He was the guy going into the season that was supposed to be the starter. They started a freshman quarterback the first 2 weeks. Now it's the Jamie Cunningham era in Washington, D.C.
Kalen Johnson got the first starts of the season. Freeman is the back. There's the handoff to Freeman, running left. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brought down by Joshua Thor. Let's take a look at our impact players with the Bison have the football. We just saw Freeman.
They have to have the ability to run the football if they want to have any chance. If they need Freeman to play well for Hampton, Charles Owens, the nose tackle, he's the run stuffer for the Pirates.
So after no gain, a 2nd down and 10. In motion comes Colvin. Quickly swung out to Colvin here on the near flat, and he races towards the sideline and run out of bounds up about the 27-28. Just a gain of a yard or 2. Joseph Turner, the cornerback there, to make the tackle for Hampton.
Great job with the pursuit. You saw the bubble screen there. You saw big Charles Owens from the defensive tackle position chasing down the wide receiver in the open field. Very active inside.
After a gain of 3, 3rd and 7, empty backfield. A look to the sideline by Jamie Cunningham. Colvin and Antoine, the receivers, towards the bottom of the screen. Straight ahead. Nice run for the quarterback. There goes Cunningham. A first down and more all the way up near the 45 before he's run down by Curtis Coleman. 17-yard run for Jamie Cunningham.
One thing that Greg McGee could do, he could run the football very well. Cunningham showing he's got the flashes with the ability to do that with nice size. Good hard-nosed run up the middle. Don't take that hit. You're too valuable to your team, son.
Cunningham looking, now takes off, tries to take off, does so, takes a big hit right near midfield, gains a couple of yards. Charles Owens came up, put that big lick on him, but it's a gain of 2. Joshua Thorne also helping out on the tackle.
The offensive line for Howard, they're going to have to protect their quarterback. You know, you've got 2 of the best defensive linemen in the conference you're facing right now. You know you need Cunningham in there to be your quarterback. They should step up their level of intensity to match Hampton.
Give is to Freeman. Quickly wrapped up, though, by Trayshawn Council. No gain. That running game just, well, not a lot went right offensively, quite frankly, in the first 2 games for Howard, Jay, but they've got to get the running game going as well.
They need to, and if you ask me why would Howard have an opportunity to win this football game against an up-and-coming program like Hampton, it's because offensive coordinator Ted White, one of the best offensive minds in the conference, schematically, he's going to put his team in a great position. It's just a matter of whether or not the Bison can execute on the field.
3rd down again, 3rd and long. They converted on 3rd and 7 early. Here's a deep pass for Colden, diving off the fingertips. Incomplete at the Hampton 15-yard line. Darius Banks had the coverage. Not a bad throw there from Cunningham.
And what did we just say? Ted White's going to put you in a position to have success. He can pick apart a defense, but they must execute on the field. Nice pocket, great time. Ball's in the air. This is the catchable ball. If the ball hits your hands, you need to make that catch in a rivalry game, son. They just missed that opportunity there, forcing a punt.
John Fleck on to punt for Howard. Rayshad Riddick back at his own 10-yard line. Fleck's boot. Fair catch called for, but it's going to bounce at the 23 and take a Howard roll inside the 15. They're going to down it inside the 13-yard line. 39-yard punt for Fleck with no return. So timeout. We'll see the Hampton offense for the first time when we come back to Washington, D.C. No score early in the first quarter, so we welcome you back to the AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. Howard 1 first down on their first possession. So now the Hampton Pirates take over offensive lead for the first time. And they begin at their own 13-yard line. Dukes is the back. Allen the fullback. David Watford under center. Play fake. Watford rolling right. He's going to throw deep. Going for shorter. Incomplete at the 35 and a flag. Trayvon Hunt on the coverage. And just like that, Jay, Hampton, first play from Watford, they go long.
If you don't know the Hampton Pirate program under head coach Connell Maynard, very aggressive passing game. This is a vertical passing game. They don't like the bubble screens. They like to attack the opposing defense. And you saw it there on the very first play from scrimmage, a bomb.
A referee tonight.
Pass interference, defense for 17. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Robert Frazier, our official.
Short as a guy that's got some speed. He was injured all last season, but at 6'2", 200 pounds, nice frame, and you see right there, Trayvon Hunt all over the receiver. That's an easy call for the official to make.
Running to the near side. This is Dukes. They brought him from that far side instead of lining him up in the backfield. And Dukes with the gain all the way up across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Stopped by David Lee. A gain of 14.
Impressive run. And you worry about the running game, but let's not forget about the passing game. We know they like to throw the football. TJ Mixon's going to be a guy we're going to hear from in this contest. Howard must come up with an answer for him.
First down from their own 42. Play fake. Watford goes to the far side, turning.
Nice.
Proctor up at the 42-yard line. Inbounds with the catch, or very close to being inbounds there.
Well, they call that out of bounds. That was a close one, but take a look at what Watford does here. You see the route right here. You need to save your quarterback just a little bit more sideline. Comes out of his break. The receiver drifts on the route a little bit. Ooh.
Did he have the right foot down?
I thought that was a catch, like he got it down, but doesn't matter what we think.
2nd and 10, handed off. Dukes running right, tried to turn it off right tackle, but not much there. Stopped by Jonathan Cooper for no gain. A little extra pushing there at the end. Nothing comes of that.
And I know that was an incomplete pass we saw to Proctor over there on the sideline, but how often in today's college football game do you see teams attempting 15-yard out routes? That's like a thing of the past. You have to have a trigger man to do it. The impact players there, Twan Mixon, their go-to wide receiver. And on defense, Travis Brown. He's a great run-stopping linebacker, but more importantly, his mental game has to be there. The first 2 weeks of the season, he wasn't getting the defense in the set position they needed to be in to have success. He has to play a strong game mentally for the Bison defense to have a chance.
Well, they're reviewing the previous play that we were talking about. So apparently that last play will not count. But let's take a look at the turn. Proctor, does he get the right foot down?
That's the catch. Foot is down. He caught the ball cleanly, didn't bobble it at all. That's a catch.
Is there enough to overturn the call on the field, though, in that it was an incompletion? Does he complete the act of catching? As you said, we didn't see any juggle there, but he kind of screens us off a little bit. We don't know 100% for sure, but it certainly looked like he had the clean catch.
I would think so, but you know my percentages on this are not great. They're improving. I'm no longer batting 200 at the mid-nose line. But I think you have the different angles. You have to look at one angle to say, was it a clean catch? If he caught the ball cleanly, then you take a look at another angle and you see, was the foot down? And if you can put those two things together, it should come up as a catch for Hampton. But a very close call.
So the signal must have come down for the review before that next play did begin. So that play should be wiped off the books, because once you kick in another play, then your opportunity's missed. But we take another look at
catch and foot at the same time. I think that's a catch. What do you say, Neely?
I thought it was a catch in real time when we watched it, and looking at the replays, I think it's a catch. The X factor there is, do we have a for sure look that he had a clean catch and never juggled it at all? I don't know if we have that. I think he did catch it cleanly all the way, but we don't have the video proof to back that up.
That ball's not moving. He has it in his right palm.
I agree. I don't think it moved.
And what you do to get better as a receiver, you learn how to drag that other foot. To get the second foot in there so it's not even close. That's an NFL-style catch.
Well, this Hampton offense going against a Howard defense that, especially on the defensive line, Jay, is really shorthanded.
Yeah, they're extremely beat up. You see 4 of the D linemen are out for this contest here. And these are 4 guys that if they were healthy, they would be starters as well. So they've got it there. And then Devin Rollins is the linebacker there. He's out. He's the guy they really needed.
We even added a 5th tonight. Mukuka Kasaba is out. Defensive tackle as well. So really banged up on that Bison line. Well, they're long look at this one for Rob Gilbert, our replay official. Down to Robert Frazier, our referee, for the decision on this.
After review, it was determined that the receiver gained possession with 1 foot in. The call is changed to a first down. The ball will be placed at the 41-yard line. The clock will start on the snap.
I think it's the right call, Jay. I didn't know if there was
the clock will start on the ready for play.
Enough video to overturn the call, but that's going to go as a 17-yard gain.
And I always say this, the coaches and players spend so many hours worth of preparation. If it takes a minute or 2 to get the call right on the field, as long as the call is right on the field, I support the delay, and I love instant replay because you're really rewarding players for making plays on the field. I
concur 100%. We've got the technology. Let's try to get it right. It's not perfect, but it's better than what we used to have.
Yes, it is. I'm still impressed by that throw that I saw from Watford there. You just don't see that.
Well, he's already sent a message here tonight, hasn't he, Jay?
He's coming out. Deep bomb that was on target with the pass interference, and then the ability to throw the out route. That's like archaic in college football.
Hampton with a first down at the Howard 41-yard line. This is the first possession of the game for the Pirates. And again, here's Watford looking to throw, and that's caught by Mixon at the 20. Run out of bounds there. T.J. Mixon, first team all-conference. This guy is a big-time threat.
That's the impact player. You knew he was going to show up. And something Hampton does on every pass attempt, like 90% of their passes, they do some type of play action in the backfield, set up to draw those linebackers up. Mixon comes right behind them in the sweet spot. A good quarterback, Mark Neely, makes that throw look easy. That wasn't an easy throw, but Wofford dropped it right down the hatch to make it look easy. Big-time play at the quarterback position.
So that's a 20-yard gain after what was a 17-yard gain thanks to the review. And a first down. Hampton now at the 21 of the Bison. Play fake. Here's Watford rolling right. Looks left. Throws it in. His man wide open. The fullback, Thomas Allen. Touchdown. They completely forgot about the fullback. A 21-yard touchdown catch.
It's a great play call by offensive coordinator and head coach Connell Maynard. If the Howard Bison don't want to respect the play action, you just have the guy that you're faking to sneak out in the route. And it's wide open touchdown.
Adam Brown for the extra point, knocks it through, and Hampton with an early statement, not only in scoring, Jay, but how they march down the field, mostly through the air.
They're going to come out aggressive, and that's what they like to do. And when you've got a trigger man that can pull the trigger like this, the easiest touchdown throw he'll make of the season, probably wide open. The Pirates out early on the Bison.
Festival of Food and Fun, getting reactions to McDonald's new Buttermilk Crispy Chicken Sandwich, y'all. So give me a bite, let me know what you think.
The AT&T Nations Classic is presented by McDonald's and in part by Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Well, from here to Washington, D.C. Battle for the real HU in Hampton with the early statement of drive that began at their own 13-yard line. They go 4 plays, 87 yards. And David Watford was old school, Jade. Some out routes thrown to your fullback, man. I feel like we've gone back in time here at RFK.
Deep crossing route and 15-yard out route. The post deep to open up the game. Well, you know what? It's pretty easy to be a very efficient quarterback when you've got no threat of the defensive line getting a sack. Give credit to the offensive line. Watford had plenty of time to complete those deep downfield throws.
Guy Lemonnier, Robert Mercer back deep for Howard to receive this kick from Adam Brown. And a short end over end kick taken at the 14-yard line by Lemonnier. Trying to keep his feet. Was he down? He used his left hand to keep his balance, but he's going to be down at about the 22-yard line. Well, rivals collide in an early season SEC doubleheader. First at 6, it's college football. 15, number 2 Bama. They ESPN.
Some Heisman Trophy implications going to take place there.
Absolutely.
Chubb from Georgia and Henry from Alabama.
Cunningham, play fake, being chased off the hands of Casey Branton. They thought they'd use their own fullback for a pass attempt there, but that is incomplete. Outscored 125-0 in the first 2 games. That's a rough start, but you know, let's call them what they are. They're money games.
They're the money games, and I think the Appalachian State loss probably hurt the most because they lost a number of their defensive linemen. The way App State plays football, they like to chop block and stuff like that. That really took a toll on their defensive line.
Freeman nowhere to go, trying to cut back again, but he is swarmed under back at the 19-yard line. Keith McAfee and Miles Grooms, number 8, as well as some other Pirates, a loss of 5. Well, Freeman not happy with the first 2 games. He said, hey, it's not the fault of Hampton about what happened to us against Boston College, but we need to take it out on them. Well, Hampton's the team making the statement right now.
Conference play, and I like the attitude. I like the quote. Right now, the football team's the only people that really believe in the Bison in Washington, D.C.
Grooms chasing Cunningham. Nice block picked up there, and a completion up to the 39-yard line to Miles Williams, the tight end.
And that's a great job by Cunningham of keeping the play alive, finding his tight end Williams open on the sideline.
Aaron Hutchins, his left guard, a good block in the backfield to extend that play for Cunningham.
Yeah, you see he shoulder pad Miles Grooms, a nice strike thrown by Cunningham.
20-yard gain, first down. Freeman, his best run, and breaks through. Heads to the sideline. Bumped out of bounds inside the 25 by Justin Williams, and maybe Freeman is playing with a little bit of attitude and anger.
Playing with some anger, testing out the Hampton Pirate run defense. One of the things that Hampton struggled with the season ago was the ability to stop the run. Great job of bouncing it outside, and that's just a poor approach to the tackle by the safety. Miles Morris coming up, missed the tackle.
Handed off Rodney Tyson for a yard or two up to the 21. Well, that was a 39-yard run the previous play for Freeman. He came into this game, first two games, he had a total of 16 carries for 28 yards. Now, he did have 5 catches for 48 yards. But that one run right there was more than he ran for in the first 2 games.
And Freeman's a durable back. He's a guy that is not going to hurt you. Does he have the explosiveness that you need to be considered a home run hitter? Probably not. They lost that in Parker. But Freeman's a tough-nosed kid from New Orleans, Louisiana, showing you that he's ready to keep playing.
And you mentioned the fact that they lost Parker. In motion, the tight end, Miles Williams. Play fake again. Cunningham giving ground. Throws it up. Picked off. Grooms headed down the sideline. But he stepped out of bounds at the 28. But that's George, actually, number 9, Justin George. And Cunningham is picked.
Now on the screen pass there.
Moving on the field is an interception.
Great job of recognition by Justin George. He sniffed it out from his linebacker position. You can't afford to float that ball. You have to see ahead of the runner. That's a close one. Did he have possession before he stepped out?
Good question.
I think that's another one you look at. He didn't catch that cleanly. He was bobbling that ball. I'm surprised you're not taking a look at this. This is one of those turnovers.
Hampton getting up the line to snap this. Watford under center, so looks like it will not be reviewed. Watford rolling out right, just throws it out of bounds. Being chased by Ibrahima Kabe. That is Kibe. There's Ibrahima Kibe, the redshirt senior from right here in D.C., Woodrow Wilson High School.
Kibe is one of the few defensive linemen that's been playing at 100% this year. So he's been the anchor. He's stepped up and gotten some more playing time. Good penetration on that previous play.
Dumped out. Chase Powell. It's a block on the edge for Proctor. Jacob Bennett pushed him out of bounds. And it'll be a first down.
Let's go back and take a look at the interception. He's bobbling it. Close.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think they got away with one. Had they taken a look at the replay, I think you could have overturned that interception.
And too late now. The plays, a couple plays have already taken place, but I think your point well taken, Jay. Here's the handoff. Dukes to the 44-yard line before he's tackled by Marquise Blanchard. Now a late flag comes out from the side judge. We'll see about this call from our referee Robert Frazier. Hampton indicating that's going to go against Howard.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 39, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. That is number 39's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the contest.
Yeah, strong safety Craig Johnson called for the unsportsmanlike play, and
see Johnson there. It's always the second guy that gets caught.
The helmet came off. And It'll be a first down. Hampton at the 41 of Howard. Watford swings it out. Riddick gets laid out by Trayvon Hunt. 4-yard loss.
And that is rivalry football there. Great recognition by Trayvon Hunt. Beat his man one-on-one on the attempted block. And Riddick was just a sitting duck out there. I think this falls on the wide receiver at the top of your screen. That's Riddick that's going in motion. This is designed all the way. Hunt beats his man and pummels Riddick to the ground.
And Chase Powell was trying to block the wide receiver for Hampton out there on the edge, and didn't happen. Trayvon Hunt right past him and lit up Riddick there, who's he looked at on the sideline. Well, that play seemed to electrify the Howard sideline. They haven't had much opportunity to do that so far tonight.
And that's what you need to have. A season that's not going well, you need the defense to create a couple sparks.
Watford trying to create with his legs here, coming to the near side. He's just going to tail out of bounds at the 43-yard line. He does pick up a couple of yards. Run out by Kenneth Russ. David Watford, who was the starter at the University of Virginia back in 2013. Set a school record with 244 completions. He ran a game against Georgia Tech when he was with the Cavaliers. He had a school record 43 completions and a career high 376 yards. I mean, it's pretty good numbers. Fell off the depth chart though, and after getting his degree at Virginia decided to transfer home because he's a Hampton High School kid.
Highly recruited to the University of Virginia as well.
Watford looks to the sideline. Lots of time. Throws across the middle to Mixon, who's immediately wrapped up and brought down at the 35-yard line by Jason Day.
And with that completion, knowing the aggressive nature of Hampton Pirate football, with the completion, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're in that mid-range on the field, too far for a field goal attempt. The offensive line doing a good job protecting the quarterback, and that's smart quarterback play, knowing where you are on the field. Realize you don't have to pick it all up, but put yourself in a position where it's 4th and attainable. Short 4th and 3 gives the offensive coordinator the opportunity to open up the playbook.
After that 9-yard gain, 4th down.
I don't know if they're going to get this play off. They got 3 seconds left on the clock.
Down to 1, and they'll take a timeout.
Timeouts. Hampton. That is their first team timeout.
So the Pirates, as you saw, 40% so far, early part of the season on 4th down conversions. Well, we have another big college football Saturday ahead of us this weekend, which means it's time for Watch. Here's a 4th down and 3. Hampton at the 34 of Howard.
We're yet to see Howard apply any pressure in the form of a blitz. The situation, defensive coordinator Ray Petty's known for dialing up something.
Here they come. Watford hits Mixon, and with his forward progress, should have the first down. The official here on the near side spotting him at the 30, and the official on the far side had him at the 31. But then they're going to use what the near side.
And that's going to make it close. I actually thought when he caught the ball, he was on the 30-yard line, got pulled back.
Measurement.
I thought so too.
Timeout.
And that's what the official on the near side, on the Hampton sideline, saw. But the official on the Howard University sideline saw him short at the 31-yard line. They brought the blitz. Hot read.
Tough to tell from that angle, but I think he did reach the 35, which would have been enough, or I should say the 30. Which would have been enough for the first down. He did not get a great spot, but even with the spot with the ball right on the 31-yard line,
may be enough.
It should be enough. And another catch for TJ Mixon, first team all conference last year. And he's going to have it. Right about the nose of the football.
When things just aren't going your way, that's what happens. That's the catch. See, he catches the ball. See, he's about on the 30. When he caught it, he was on the 30, but when he had control of it, he was probably on that 30 and a half.
Yeah.
Closer, but either way, I mean, they gave him the correct spot, and he still got it with the spot.
Gary Harrell, the head coach for Howard in his 4th season. His team down 7-0. They saw the Pirates score on their first drive. They're driving again. Hand it off. Dukes stood up at about the 25-yard line, so he picks up about 5, where he's tackled by David Lee.
You know, and one thing about this game is, you know, Hampton came into the conference and just took over. And it didn't really become a rivalry until Gary Harrell became the head football coach at Howard. And since he's been the head coach at Howard, he is yet to lose to Hampton. So I think if he's done nothing else in his tenure at Howard, he eliminated the bragging rights that Hampton just was running away with and brought back a little bit of pride to the program here in the D.C. area.
And Hampton had won 14 in a row, but now Howard's won 4 straight coming into this year. Play fake. Watford also fakes the end around. Now Watford went to run with it. He's knocked down at the 24-yard line by Marquise Blanchard. A lot going on that play, and it just turned out to be the quarterback running and picks up a yard.
A lot of misdirection, but a good job of staying home, particularly by defensive end Marquise Blanchard, not falling for the play action and force Watford to tuck it and run up the middle of the defense.
3rd down upcoming, a 3rd down and 3 from the Howard 24-yard line. 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 1 from RFK in D.C. Watford rolling right. Where's he going to go with it? He's going to run, and he's going to have enough across the 20, pushed out at the 19 by Craig Johnson. And he has to hurdle the advertising banner over there. But Watford with his legs will extend the drive.
Good job of moving the pocket, anticipating a blitz coming from Howard. Good call to get the quarterback outside of the pocket, and David Watford able to show you his mobility, scrambling with the football.
So the 11th play of this drive coming up. Hampton needed only 4 plays to go 87 yards on their first possession. What was a 21-yard touchdown catch by the fullback Thomas Allen. That's straight ahead. Cooper makes the stop. A Hampton player lost his helmet.
That was a fullback, Thomas Allen.
Yep.
One thing that Hampton does, they utilize their fullbacks. When the fullback is in the game for Hampton, follow the fullback, you'll see what's going to happen. They either use him to block or to get out in pass coverage to back up that offensive line.
83% on the red zone scoring. And Hampton offense, make that 6 trips into the red zone this year. 5 TDs, and here's Dukes. He's inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, wrapped up by David Lee.
We just talked about following the fullback, right? So if you follow the fullback, you can get out of the way of all that misdirection. They're going to set up a trap. Fullback's going to start off on the left side. Watch him come around to the right. Linebacker thinks he has a free shot. No! Sealed the hole, allowing the running back to pick up the first down. Sometimes football can be so simple. Running situations, follow the fullback. He's going to take you where you need to go. And as a quarterback, recognize where the safeties are. They're going to tell you what type of coverage they're playing.
Javaris Giles was the guy for Hampton that put that block on to help Dukes with the 4-yard gain. 13th play of the drive here. 8 runs, 4 passes. So here's the 9th running play of the possession that really doesn't go anywhere. Again, David Lee there for Howard. Now, you mentioned earlier how Howard is without Willie Parker, who's still rehabbing after the knee injury, which actually occurred in the game against Hampton last year. But Hampton's without Eric Carter, who was really going to be their premier running back this year, and he was hurt early in their first game against Kentucky State. And that's made Dukes the guy. Watford fires a little low and off the fingertips at the goal line for Shaquem Alonso. It was a sinker.
It was, and that's one you'd like to see Alonso go down and get. Inside the red zone on slant routes, quarterbacks tend to miss low. Should anticipate the low throw, make that catch fall into the ground.
Alonso, junior out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, started his collegiate career at Cincinnati. A third down and goal from the 9-yard line. Watford looked like he wanted a handoff. Now he's taken off with it, cuts upfield and into the end zone. Touchdown, David Watford with a 9-yard run. 13-0 Hampton.
That's how you play the quarterback position. We know he can throw. We know he can run. Now showing great ball handling skills in the backfield, able to pull the ball out the stomach of the running back, call his own number for the touchdown. The zone read, great decision. He goes into the end zone with some athleticism.
15-play drive going 72 yards. And that goes wide left. So they missed the extra point. Adam Brown hits it left, but they do get another 6 thanks to Watford's legs. Battle for the real HU right now, belonging to Hampton. The Justin George interception into points. 13-0 Hampton after the missed extra point with just 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. In this 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic, presented by McDonald's from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. David Watford so far 6 of 8 through the air, 83 yards as a touchdown pass and now a touchdown run.
A lot of people in the conference wanted to know what David Watford was capable of. Hampton sent the conference on notice with an almost upset victory over top 20 ranked Richmond at home, a game they lost by 3 points after leading most of that contest. And so Watford played fantastic, did not throw an interception, and I guess the rest of America gets to see what this young man's capable of.
Rodney Tyson takes it from the 12. A little late activity after the play, some pushing. Howard with their 3rd possession. 1 first down on their first possession, then a punt. Their second possession resulted in the interception.
And that interception, that was costly because they had the ball moving downfield. You'd like to think they would have gotten a field goal attempt at least to get those first points of the season. And the longer this game plays out without Howard scoring, the less confidence they're going to start to have in that offense and in themselves.
And a flag pre-snap.
False start. Offense. 74. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Aaron Hutchins, the left guard, moved early, so they're playing from behind the chains already.
The left guard right above the center, top of the screen.
He might have been pulling or something because he was leaning back a little bit. Or pass protecting. So 1st and 15. And their own 27, just 8 seconds left in this first quarter from D.C. Empty backfield now as Pleasant goes in motion. Here's a run. Cunningham. Or 2 or 3 up to the 29, wrapped up by Miles Grooms. And that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. So that's 9 quarters without a point so far for the Howard offense. All the scoring in quarter number 1 belonged to Hampton. The Watford TD pass and TD run. 13-zip. Dignitaries here. They're starting to walk off. That's John Wall there shaking hands. Kelly Oubre there in the camouflage shirt. Oubre, who was drafted by the Wizard from the Kansas Jayhawks. Comes to the near side, caught by Colvin. Swarmed under at the 28-yard line. Well, the Howard offense, when we had a chance to visit with Ted White, the offensive coordinator, their no-huddle offense, they had 3 different speeds last year. They've added another one this year, Jay.
Yeah, they call that the rush to the ball. The racehorse rush to the ball normally is get up to the line of scrimmage. They know what play they're going to run regardless of the defense. Then you've got the traditional signal from the sideline, and the racehorse up tempo, up tempo.
Flag. Cunningham throws. He's going deep. Double covered and coming over. Mercer was the intended receiver. And nearly caught by Darian Carr, number 33 for Hampton. Well, we'll see about the flag near the line of scrimmage.
Cunningham thought he had a free shot downfield. Drew the Hampton defensive line offside, taking a shot deep.
Yep, the offsides. Hampton, our referee, Robert Frazier, forgot to turn his mic on.
Wouldn't it?
Now he doesn't realize that it's on. There you go.
Correction, third down.
Third down at 14 for Howard.
Be careful of Miles Grooms in this situation. Your defensive end, top of your screen. Obvious passing situation.
Cunningham steps up, throws across the middle, batted away. Intended for Tamlin Antoine. It was Miles Morris who reached over with that left paw to break it up.
And you got a defensive end, he demands special attention. Nice double team by Howard, not allowing Grooms to make a play.
Number 58, Torrey Boyd's not a bad football player himself.
Boyd's been starting for the Bison for quite some time. Seems like ever since he got on campus, he's been entrenched as one of the starting tackles.
First punt for Fleck went for 39 yards. Darius Banks back at his own 20. Pretty good boot from Fleck, angled to the near side. Actually a little shorter than I thought. It's going to go out at the 34. So 3 possessions for Howard, no points to show for it. Hampton about to start their 3rd possession, and they have scored touchdowns on their first 2. And a lot of that due to the play of David Watford.
Statement game from the graduate senior from the Hampton Roads area. He's looked very good. Been very impressed. Been throwing the football down the field, commanding the offense. Well, it all started right here. Look at this. Reading the coverage, throws a strike on the deep crossing route, wide open touchdown. Been showing you great ball handling skills and some athleticism when he calls his own number for his touchdown run. Howard Bison, you have a problem. His name is David Watford.
Well, when Watford knew he was going to transfer, the schools he considered, William and Mary was one, Virginia Union, Howard was in the mix. From what I hear about David Watford, from David Watford, and he decided to go to Hampton, which is home for him. So not really surprised he wound up where he did.
A legend on the high school circuit down there, had a tremendous high school career.
Throws it, it finds his man Mixon to the 34-yard line of Howard. 26-yard pickup.
That's just too much time.
And Thomas Allen.
Look at the time on this play here. I mean, the pocket was set. These are deep crossing routes. We're talking 17, 18-yard routes. It takes receivers time to get down the field. If you're going to do a lot of play action passing and deep crossing routes, the offensive line must protect. And right now, Watford's getting all the protection that he needs.
Well, the Howard player down. I believe that's Craig Johnson, number 39, strong safety for Howard, being attended to. So they help him to his feet. Good to see Johnson under his own power head off. Well, a first down after the pickup and the catch by Mixon. First down at the 36 of Howard, and Hampton marching again. Right now, Gary Harrell's Howard Bison don't have an answer right now for Watford. Fake the handoff. Watford going towards the end zone, and I don't know if Riddick cut the route short or it was way overthrown. Jacob Bennett on the coverage.
One of the few times Howard has managed to get pressure on the pocket, force the quarterback into an errant throw. And you talked earlier about the schools that he was considering going to. Watford. If I was a quarterback in the same situation, I probably would have gone to Hampton too. Not because of the program necessarily, not because of tone, but because they probably have the best wide receiving core in the conference. And you've got a head coach that's a former quarterback that loves to throw the football. That seemed like the perfect match.
Riddick there for Hampton, but a flag near the end of the play. Tackled by DeAndre Price, but our call from our official Robert Frazier.
Personal foul, illegal low block, offense number 88. 15-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Well, Saquon Gooding, one of the wide receivers for Hampton, called for the illegal block.
When we talk about the wide receiver core for Hampton, last year their go-to wide receiver was Rashawn Riddick. Riddick led this team in receptions, was their go-to guy. This year, he's their third or fourth option with the emergence of T.J. Mixon, Rashawn Proctor, Shorter, as well in the transfer, Alonzo. This is a loaded team at the skill positions at wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. Hampton, they're a load to deal with.
Hampton has not been penalized much this year, as you saw, and Connell Maynard, the head coach, was not happy in a previous call. It backs him up all the way to midfield. Watford sets up the screen pass to Garrett, the running back, but he's tackled at the 48 for a loss by David Lee.
Fantastic individual effort by Lee. He was the only person for Howard University that sniffed out this screen. They tried to set him up. He had responsibility. The running back comes underneath the two linemen and makes a solo tackle in the open field. That's how you play the position.
3rd and long, 3rd and 24. This would be a big deal for Howard's defense just to have a stop here, Jay.
Keep in mind, knowing Hampton, they're probably just going to try and pick up 15, 16 yards and put themselves in a position to go for it again on 4th down.
And they don't need all 24
Howard
on this play. Howard calls a timeout, so we'll step aside. 12:22 to play in the first half from D.C. Battle for the real HU right now led by Hampton. Let's take a look at tonight's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. A deflection and a ball almost picked off. But it is 4th down, and Howard's going to get their defense off the field. Well, he was trying to eat up all 26 or so yards with that pass there. First punt of the game now for Hampton. Jalen Avery back at the Howard 10 to receive this punt from Christian Faber-Kinney. Angled short towards the near side, and that's going to bounce out. No, will stay in bounds, but be down at the 28-yard line. Just a 24-yard punt. So that'll bring the Howard offense back onto the field. Well, Sunday Well, at some point, Jay, the Howard offense has to get the monkey off their back and put some points on the board.
And I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do it. Are they good enough to have a long drive down the field, sustain one, or do they have to rely on the big play? They did have a couple of explosive runs early, but I think they're so reliant on the big play.
Freeman near side, sidesteps his way to the 32-yard line and picks up about 4 on first down. Tackle for Hampton defender Chaka Diarasuba.
And we're yet to see what Howard can do well. Do they run the ball very well? Do they throw the ball very well? They're still trying to find their identity. We know that Cunningham's a very good runner from the quarterback position, but it's time for him to pick apart this defense with his arm.
Hand it off again to Freeman, again coming to the near side, and that he may have got his face mask. I believe he did. Tyrone Ward grabbed and got face mask and pulled him down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 45. 15-yard penalty, and the end of the run, automatic first down.
You see it happen towards the end of the run. He gets a nice yank there. That's dangerous.
First down, Howard up to their own 48-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of the screen, but hand it off again to Freeman. A steady dose of Freeman at this point, still keeping the feet moving, but Miles Grooms helping out on the tackle for a gain of 2 right up to midfield.
And you see Howard trying to force feed the run. Haven't had much success doing it, but coming into this game, they thought they located a couple weaknesses in the Hampton rush defense. Besides the big run we saw from Freeman and the quarterback scramble by Cunningham, Hampton's done a pretty good job of stuffing the run.
Colvin in motion to the far side. Cunningham looking in that direction. Pump fakes, brings it back down and throws to the sideline where it's completed at the 46-yard line to Jalen Avery. Gain of 4.
That was a good job by Cunningham extending the play. The deep throw wasn't open downfield. Hit his check down in front of him for positive yardage. Anytime you throw the football and you pick up yardage, offensive coordinators do not complain.
3rd down and 4. Handed off straight ahead, and the first down for Freeman across the Hampton 40 to the 39. Diarasuba with the tackle, but not before Freeman runs for 6 in the first.
Right now you see Howard going to their hurry up offense. This is the racehorse. They're going with tempo. They have a team on the ropes.
Freeman running again. Nice run, but a flag down. Gain of close to 10 for Freeman. Again, Diarasuba with the tackle.
Now I wonder, did they catch Hampton with an illegal substitution penalty? If so, did they give the defense enough time to get set?
The flag came from the back judge, side judge, deep down the field.
And if it's against Hampton, I decline the penalty. That was a pretty good run.
Illegal substitution, defense, number 12. 12 men on the field. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
And it plays out just as you thought and suggested.
So right now the racehorse offense is having positive effect for the Howard offense.
First drive for Howard that they've gotten multiple first downs on a drive. Give us to Pleasant, Donnell Pleasant. That's the carry there for just about 2 to the 28. Late flag. Boy, there's a lot going on in the secondary. Miles Morris, the Hampton defense. I believe that was Robert Mercer.
And Mercer's definitely going to get a flag, because the second flag that came in, the official was looking directly at him. I think it's a matter of whether that first flag was on the defensive back.
They were pushing and shoving and grabbing down near the 10-yard line.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 20. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. first unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, the reason they mentioned that it's the first unsportsmanlike penalty on each of those players, because if you get a second, you're out of the game.
And they keep track of those, so they have to let the players know. And that's a situation there where the second man clearly got caught. And that's where you have to have the discipline to not react. You could have helped your team with an extra 15 yards worth of field position.
But it is a first down for Howard at the Hampton 28. So this has been the best drive offensively for the Bison tonight. Under center goes Cunningham. Gives it to Freeman, who's back in the game. He lost the football. It's loose, and out comes Howard. Varsian somehow came up with the football. Oral Varsian, number 19, and Howard turns it over.
Just when Howard started having some success with their original game plan, running the football in between the tackles, Freeman gets turned around, clearly a fumble, and the Pirates recover. Trap inside, following the fullback. And as he's going to the ground, that ball comes out. Great recognition by Varsian.
Cunningham came over to make the tackle. You see that ball bouncing around there, and Varsian in the right place at the right time just scooped it up and started his return. The second turnover tonight for Howard, and each time it's been a turnover where Howard had something going offensively and totally killed drives.
Now I wonder if they're taking a look at this, or Coach Harrell decided he wanted to challenge.
I don't think there was any doubt he lost it early, yeah.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under review.
Well, they will take a look at it, but unless we get a different angle from what we've seen live and then the first replay or two, this call should stand, or at least stand, if not be confirmed.
The ball's out, and he's not even on the ground yet. And I will say that when the safety recovered the football, I think the return should come back. Because when Varsian picks up the ball, his knee is on the ground right there. When he recovers the fumble, his knee is down. So,
well, wait, he didn't have possession of the ball yet. He doesn't have possession yet. Well, does he have it there? It was still moving. Really close.
But best case scenario for Howard right now is the return is negated, but it's clearly going to be a fumble.
He didn't scoop it up cleanly until right about there,
and the officials on the field said it was a clean one. So is there enough to overturn the return? I don't believe so. I think they're going to let the play and the call stand.
And a busy night for our replay official, Ron Gilbert.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a fumble recovery stands. First down.
Call stands, wasn't confirmed. But nonetheless, it is Hampton football. So 2 tonight already for Howard. The interception and now a fumble. And each time Howard has looked like they were going to get something going and start to really drive and get into Hampton territory, they've turned it over tonight. So 9:15 to play till halftime. 13-0 Pirates. They take over Watford. Throws it back to the far side to Shorter. It's a block on the edge and is tackled about the 48 by Kenneth Russ.
That was a great job of selling that play fake. Hard sell for the outside zone read. Misdirection screen back. Offensive lineman able to slip to the outside. Torian White and Donovan Johnson. They sell it good. You see 77 and 76. They're able to slip out there, give him a little entourage. Catches the ball at the line of scrimmage and able to pick up a first down running after catch.
Handed off this time to Dwayne Garrett. He's into Howard territory to the 48, wrapped up by Elijah Englund, and a gain of 5. Garrett now the number 2 back. Came in with 9 rushes on the season. Did have an 18-yard touchdown catch in their opener against Kentucky State. Hampton beat Kentucky State in the opener, then lost to Richmond, a really good Richmond team, and I thought Hampton was going to win that game. They had a sizable lead. Led most of the game, up by 10 in the 4th quarter. That's a game you have to finish for the victory. Watford slings it out to Shorter. Eluded one tackler, but then it's just across midfield to the 49. But still going to lose a yard. What I'd like to see Hampton do, they can throw the football. They've got skill position guys, but on first down you come out and you run for 5 yards. Establish that you can run the ball. I don't know if you can count on a passing game all season long without the complementary running game there. I'd like to see them get a little bit more physical, run the football a little bit more, wear down this thin defensive line for Howard. Empty on 3rd down and 6. 3 receivers left, 2 right. In this formation for the Pirates. A flag prior to the snap.
I know, it wasn't a delay. I was talking to TJ.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I think we heard through our referee's mic, David Watford thinking perhaps the play clock had run out. He said, hey, I was talking to TJ, referring to Mixon. And then Mixon may have turned. And as good as Hampton has played this first half, they're only up by 13. So they need to figure out a way to put some more points on the board. You allow a team that's struggling to hang around, and you never know what could happen in the second half. 3rd and 11. Watford deep down the near side and up for grabs. It's picked off by Trayvon Hunt. Wrapped up at the 17. Well, that on 3rd and long may have worked out just as well as a punt, but he didn't have anybody in a blue shirt close. Well, Hampton turns it over for the first time tonight. Well, the Bison have been looking for something. They finally got one. Can the spark on defense spark some offense? It's 13-0 Pirates. These teams met last year at Green Stadium on the Howard campus in November of 2014, and Hampton coach Connell Maynor was trying to snap what was then a 3-game skid to Howard. And Greg McGee, the Howard quarterback, not only can pass the football but run as well, and running back Aquanius Freeman and a couple of touchdown runs. And it came down to the final play. Big rally for Howard in that game, but Anthony Prevost missed a 54-yard field goal, came up just a little short for Hampton at the end, and Howard won it 30-29. Good game last year. Let's see if Howard can make this a game here tonight. It probably fortunate, Jay, they're only down 13-0 with 7 minutes to go in the first half. Only down 13. The offense is showing some signs of having the ability to run the football. They need to put together their best drive of the season right now to give this team some hope into the second half. Now Pleasant to the 27, and another flag. Mercer again, but this time with Joseph Turner in the secondary. A flag after the play had ended. After an 8-yard run by Pleasant. Now, if that's on Mercer, would that be his second? If it is the unsportsmanlike, yeah, he's out of this game.
Okay. Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Offense, number 9. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That was number 9, Avery, not number 8, Mercer, for the illegal hands to the face downfield. But then once again, after the whistle was over, your team is trying to get some points on the board. This is where teams that don't have good records, it starts to show up in little things like this. And he just had an 8-yard run on first down. Yep, one of the best runs that you could have. And you get a penalty on your wide receiver.
Goal.
It's going to bring it all back. So half the distance to the goal, back to the 13-yard line. It just totally changes this drive and the dynamic of it, Jay, right there with one.
And you almost go from attack mode on offense into defense mode. You try and just pick up a first down if you can, and then try and punt the football away. Whereas if you don't have that penalty, you're thinking about that first down and getting your drive going, trying to put some points on the board. But for the next several plays, they just have to focus on trying to put themselves in a position where they can pick up a first down.
Officials making sure they've got this marked off correctly.
Please reset the game clock to 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 6:48.
So the clock continued to run. So they reset it to 6:48. Again, Howard has won the last 4 of these meetings in the battle for the real HU, but prior to that, Hampton had won 14 in a row. Hampton, by the way, technically the home team in this game in the AT&T Nations Football Classic. Cunningham trying to give a stiff arm, slung down, but by the face mask, Tyrone Ward, and got the face mask of Cunningham.
And that'll be a first down for
What's the knock? Can't hear you.
both teams getting a little sloppy right now. Plenty of emotion on the field.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 42. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Trayshawn Council, number 42, got the face mask of Jamie Cunningham.
You see him right here reach out and grab the face mask.
Gave it a pretty good tug. A first down. Howard now at their own 29-yard line. Play clock at 6. Cunningham on the draw. Lost the football. Still loose. Picked up by Howard. Mercer was in the right place and advances it up to the 44. There's a Howard, or I should say a Hampton player down back at the 22, Trayshawn Council.
And in quarterback draws, if Cunningham is as valuable to your offense, if you let us all to believe that he's the guy you need, I don't know how many more quarterback draws you can call.
Zimmerman knocked it out, but Mercer picked it up for Howard.
It's always free.
Visit DealDash.com and
The AT&T Nations Classic is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world, and Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Look at the Lincoln Memorial here in D.C. This AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. 13-0 Hampton leading, just under 6 minutes to go first half. The unfortunate part of that last play, which featured a fumble from Cunningham that was recovered by Mercer of Howard, is the fact that there's a Hampton player down, Trayshawn Council, and they're working on a leg. He got caught up in the backfield here. You'll see number 42 spin and then got rolled over. And the ball got loose and was eventually picked up by Robert Mercer of Howard. But Council having a leg looked at, and they brought out a stretcher as well. But right now, it appears trying to get an air cast, perhaps. As you see, that's what the pumping motion is, to blow up an air cast for one of his legs. So while they attend to Trayshawn Council, the senior out of Durham, North Carolina, will step aside here in Washington, D.C. They're attending to Trayshawn Council here at RFK Stadium. He's being carted off the field. Gives the thumbs up. Good to see that. But as you can see, they've got that right leg with an air cast as they take him off the field. Council, who's a senior out of Durham, North Carolina. This 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic. We take a look at our HBCU power rankings right now. Let's begin at 5. Bethune-Cookman, huh?
Bethune-Cookman made it on their impressive victory at Grambling last week. Not a very easy place to win. They got the job done. Southern University, we've seen them. They look great. North Carolina A&T projected to win the conference. South Carolina State dominating yesterday. One of the best defenses in the country. And Alcorn State, the defending champs, but take a look at on the bubble. Pirates fans.
Wow. And Grambling State, what a climb for them over the last year and a half, 2 years now.
Roderick Prob's done a great job restoring the pride back to the G-men.
Now the first down and 10 here for Howard. Clock running again. 5:40 to go. First half. And Cunningham taking a deep strike for Mercer, spinning around off the hands of Joseph Turner, the defender on that play.
One of the things that when we talked to Coach Gary Harrell, he said this is the best wide receiver core he felt like he's had in his 4 years there at Howard, but we're yet to see the wide receiver step up and make some plays.
Hand it off to Pleasant. Falls forward to the 48-yard line of Hampton, brought down by Miles Grooms. A pickup of 8 yards for Pleasant.
And they have found a couple of creases in between the tackles running the football. I think what they're doing is using the aggressive nature of Miles Grooms on the pass rush against him and able to pound out some yards.
3rd and 2 and right as Pleasant got the football. Keith McAfee was in his grill and drops him for a loss. Pleasant, fortunate he just hung on to the football.
Yeah, unblocked linebacker into the line of scrimmage. You cannot freeze if you're a running back. You must stay strong side. You'll see Pleasant decide to hesitate for a little while, and that just allows McAfee to tee off on him in the backfield.
So the drive stalls in midfield for Howard. John Fleck punts. Rashad Riddick back at his own 10. Big booming punt this time from Fleck. And the fair catch called for, taken at the 8 by Riddick. 44-yard punt for Fleck with no return. There's a little, wasn't a great handoff either.
That was a great pursuit of the ball carrier. Whether that was the quarterback or the running back, McAfee did a fantastic job of making the tackle in the backfield.
Well, first 2 drives, they marched right down the field. Hampton did. In fact, the first drive they had in the game took them just 4 plays to go 87 yards. Since those 2 drives, they have not had as much success. They've punted, and the last drive ended in an interception. They begin at their own 9-yard line. Watford rolling out.
Oh.
And that could have been picked off. Craig Johnson, it was a little bit up over his head. He reached for it, but I'm sure he had visions of a pick 6 right there.
That's what the Bison would have needed. They actually had an opportunity to make a huge play, one of those game-changing plays there, but not able to hold on to the football. Watford got away with one there.
Howard still trying to find their first points of the season. Almost got them there from their defense. And the run by Dukes to the 15. To gain 7.
And you think you would see more running. I mean, they're running the ball very effectively when they choose to run. We know that the Howard defensive line has been injury plagued all game, all season. Every time they run the football, they're picking up 5 to 6 yards. I'd like to see Hampton focus and start running the football a little bit more on first down.
3rd and 4 to give to Garrett. But he is stopped. Elijah Anglin.
And once again, another stop by the defense from Howard with a decent return, an opportunity to have some of their best starting field position of this game. And this cause of concern for head coach Connor Maynard.
Back deep, Jalen Avery. Back at his own 47. Christian Faber-Kinney punting from inside his own 10-yard line. Pretty good punt, but Avery receives it at his 42. Almost a block in the back, but the return goes without a yellow flag up to the 46-yard line of Hampton. 42-yard punt. Well, Pac-12 rivals clash in an important early season conference.
Safe to say that Kessler is the leading Heisman Trophy nominee from the West Coast.
It's never too early for us to talk about the Heisman Trophy.
Here's something you didn't know. Kevin Hogan,
yes,
quarterback for Stanford, went to school right down the street, Gonzaga High School here in Washington, D.C.
Cunningham gives it up to Freeman. Across the 40 to the 38-yard line, a run of 8 on 1st down. Diarra-Suba, the tackle for Hampton.
I think if you're Howard University, you force Hampton to stop your run game right now. They've been able to gash them, not able to break the big one, but they've been able to find some creases. You force them to stop the run game, and if Howard can score before the half, that's huge. I think that takes all the momentum that Hampton built up early in this contest and puts it on the other sideline and gives it to the Bison.
Freeman should have the 1st down. Where they spot this at the 36.
And with the way this game is slowing down a little bit, emotions are starting to get involved. I think there's going to be a penalty that's going to have a huge impact.
Well, we've had 7 personal fouls already combined in this game.
We're starting to see too much, and one of these personal fouls, one of these teams is not going to be able to overcome on one of the drives. So I think you need the mental discipline right now to play within the whistle.
4 of those personal fouls against Hampton, 3 on Howard, but it's a 13-0 lead for the Hampton Pirates. Well, the first touchdown on the first possession of the game for Hampton, as David Watford found the fullback Thomas Allen for a 21-yard TD.
Off of play action, look at all the time. Allen able to slip out of the backfield untouched, and then it was Watford doing a great job calling his own number. He came out in the first quarter. He was on cruise control.
It's a little short, but it's going to be 3rd down and about half the length of the football. Hampton, by the way, missed the extra point after their 2nd touchdown. That's why it's a 13-0 game.
And when we talk to the coaches from Hampton, what did they say they had not done all year? They've not played a complete game of football. They said we've come out, we've played great in the first half of one game, and in the next game we played great in the second half. Yet to put together 4 quarters of football. So if you're a Hampton Pirate fan, you know your football club, you're going to need them to play 4 quarters right now in this rivalry game. And if you're a fan of the other team, the Howard University Bison, you have to think that we've withstood their blow. If we can come out, put some points down, win the second half, we can win this football game.
So 3rd and short, 3rd and 1, but really only about not even the length of the football needed for the 1st down.
Ball security.
But we're under 2 minutes to go in this first half.
But the running backs have to protect the football. Costly fumbles have hurt the Bison in this first half.
Marvin Harrison is the fullback. In motion comes Colvin. Give it right back to Freeman, and with that 2nd effort, we'll have the 1st down up to the 35. Where Miles Grooms hit him, it was going to be really close, but then 2nd effort from Freeman, and he'll have the 1st. Freeman running with more of a purpose here as this game has progressed. Clock running. Howard does have 2 of their timeouts still available, and a pass towards the end zone is short. Now the defender, Banks, didn't turn around until really late, and it hit him in the back. The intended receiver was the freshman Guy Lemonnier. I really like the freshman Lemonnier.
Did a good job of getting by the defensive back, so let you know he's got plenty of speed.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. Second down.
They'll pick it up.
Are they saying uncatchable ball? And if they are saying uncatchable ball, that's one where the freshman has to learn. Come back to the ball and make them make this call. He kept running and didn't really come back for the ball.
So you're saying if he just kind of stops, he's going to get that call.
Yep, otherwise, it just looks like the ball was so underthrown he couldn't have got it. You have to stop your momentum, come back. But that was close enough where I don't think they should have picked up that flag. It looked like pass interference pretty clearly.
So from the 35 on second down, hand it off. Freeman running right. He's got a lot of room and a blocker. Freeman inside the 10, 5, touchdown. First points of the season for the Bison, and it comes with 1:13 left in the first half. 35-yard run. Lemonnier redeemed himself on that one with a nice block downfield.
We knew their game plan was to find some creases in their rush defense. Great play selection.
And they're going for 2 and make it. Freeman. I think they caught the Hampton D off guard, looking for a routine extra point, and Hampton comes away with 8, and it's a 5-point game. The old swinging gate.
Yeah, they do these little sprint draws, they like to call them. Quarterback acting like he's going to roll out one direction, misdirection, and great job of leading by the freshman Aaron Hutchins, getting out there in space, and then once Freeman senses the goal line, finishes the run for the score.
And then the swing and gate on the conversion, they turn it into 2 points.
And this was just by formation. I think they caught him off guard because nothing tells you need to go for a 2-point conversion there. Hampton already missed an extra point earlier, so if you make it a 7-13 game, a touchdown still gives you the lead.
Yeah, you're not the team chasing points at that point.
Yeah, but I think they went out there and they said, if we get this formation
and they don't adjust,
and it works that easily, take advantage of it. All of a sudden, we saw this coming, didn't we, Mark?
You're not kidding.
Hampton kind of fell asleep, didn't take advantage of opportunities, and they're just doing a number count. They've got 3 bodies versus 2. That's an easy score.
14 carries, 110 yards for Quanius Freeman. Not only is Howard right back in this game, but have momentum going their way with the 1:13 to go. Darius Banks, Chase Powell back deep for the Pirates. So Howard has gotten their first points of the season. A line drive scooped up at the 8 by Darius Banks. Banks to the sideline, 30, 35, 40. Cuts back. Oh, he's knocked down at the 43-yard line by Elijah Englund. A pretty good return. Hampton has 1:05 and 2 timeouts remaining after that 35-yard return.
Good return, and a good enough return where you have to start thinking we can steal some points going into the locker room, get another field goal to make up for that 2-point conversion that you just gave up, as well as the missed extra point. So look for Hampton to come out very aggressive in this offensive possession. Try and get the ball around the 25, 30-yard line for a field goal attempt.
35-yard return for Darius Banks, puts him at the 43. Again, 1:05 left. Adam Brown, the kicker. Watford going to take off with it, head towards the sideline and step out at midfield. Run out by Craig Johnson. And coming up at the intermission, the College Game Day crew is going to preview Saturday's Ole Miss Alabama clash. And Lyndon Fitzgerald, Jason Sehorn look at some of the Saturday games on ESPNU and the other notable matchups.
Howard electing to go with a 3-man defensive rush, showing respect for the Hampton wide receivers, but wide open running lanes for the quarterback.
And it gives Watford a first down to the 44. Clock will stop to move the chains. Gain of 6.
Exactly. So with the clock stopping, 2 quarterback runs, they pick up the first down in less than 14 seconds. You must stay aggressive on the defensive side of the football.
Watford's pass a little high, but pulled down by Gooding. And he's going to have a first down up to the 32. Tackled by Bennett. Gain of 13.
I think you either think about killing the clock right here or calling a timeout. A little bit too lackadaisical. This clock started winding with 35 seconds. They're wasting 10 seconds.
Watford's pass grabbed by Shorter.
Didn't get out of bounds.
Tackled. They're going to need to use a timeout. That's Craig Johnson who kept him in bounds, and they'll use a timeout and have 1 left. But the clock ran down to 13 seconds. It may put some clock or some time back on the clock.
Timeout. Hampton. Timeout, Hampton. Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds. 1-6.
Yeah, they're going to put some time back on to 16 seconds.
It's been the defense for Hampton, opportunistic with the interception. In the fumble to slow down a couple of drives here. Ball security's been at a premium. But when you play a rivalry game, you know what happens? Contact.
Emotional.
And to go along with the, was it 4 personal fouls we've seen in the first half already?
On Hampton, 7 total, 3 on the Howard side. So it has all the earmarks of being an emotional rivalry game with 7 personal fouls so far in the first half. Connell Maynard would like to steal that momentum back that Howard has grabbed with the touchdown and 2-point conversion on their last drive.
Watch number 5 right there on the MEAC logo.
Nixon there in the slot.
Nixon one-on-one with the slot receiver.
Watford looking in his direction, pointing. Now he's going to run to the 12. He's got a first down. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 9 seconds left. Tackled by Jalen Day.
I'd clock it. Right now, I'd go up and kill it.
They're going to use their final timeout. Wow. Yeah. So it's pretty much going to be in zone or nothing at this point, correct?
Yeah, that's an opportunity where you want to kill the clock. Just go up there and spike the ball to the ground. You're not really worried about downs. With 9 seconds, you don't have enough to get 3 downs.
You wanted to have that timeout, so if you don't make the end zone, you got a chance for 3, right?
Yeah.
But now it's not going to be an option. Can't get your field goal unit out in enough time to attempt a field goal now.
So you have to think somebody has to become wide open in the end zone, or you just throw it away. But if it's close and somebody is short of the end zone, I think you still have to look them off. Maybe make a pass towards the sideline.
You've got at most maybe time for 2 plays.
I think you can get 2 plays on, but what the tackles happen.
There's Mixon again. He's in the slot here on the near side. His 5 receiver look. All right, no timeouts for Hampton. 9 seconds left in this first half. Watford fade, end zone, some contact. Incomplete. 3 seconds left. They're going to get another shot. Well covered by Kenneth Russ on Shaquem Alonso.
This is field goal time now.
Yep. Well, they do get a chance for a field goal on an incomplete pass without needing the timeout.
They're going to go back and look and say we gave up 10 seconds on the clock after we got a first down, and we used a timeout when we should have just spiked the ball, which would have given them another opportunity to go for the end zone.
First field goal attempt of the year for Adam Brown. He kicked one last year from 29 yards. He was the number 2 place kicker behind Anthony Prevost. That's away, the distance, and good. 29-yard field goal from Adam Brown as time expires in the first half. 16-8 Hampton. Did Hampton get some of that momentum back, Jay?
They did. They got the points back, but this is going to be a great second half. This game is still up for grabs. Howard team that finally scored points. Hampton team that came out to a strong start but fizzled a little bit at the end of the second half. Let's see if they can put together 4 quarters of football.
The 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. The battle for the real HU. 16-8 Hampton leads. On the other side of the break, it's the College Game Day crew.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, we teach our student athletes how to run a play
and how to run their lives.
How to hit the books as hard as they hit their opponents.
We teach them how to win with pride and lose with dignity.
And how to carry that drive to succeed.
That will to win. From the field to the classroom and beyond.
Because in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, academic success is just as important as athletic success.
8-point lead for Hampton here at the intermission. The band's performing tonight as well. The Showtime Marching Band from Howard, as well as the Force, the Hampton Marching Band. And tonight here from RFK Stadium, the battle for the real HU. Along with Jay Walker, I'm Mark Neely here at the intermission. And Jay, the quarterback matchup, it's not a surprise that David Watford has more passing yards than Jamie Cunningham, but what's been your perspective on Cunningham in his first start for Howard?
Cunningham's been very effective as a runner. Like to see him threaten with the downfield passing game a little bit more, but he's only had 10 attempts, so they're not asking him to do a lot in terms of passing the football. And I think for Watford, he started out fantastic with a good start, but kind of fizzled somewhere in between. So I'd say right now Watford's got the edge, and that's why his team is leading at halftime.
Each team able to score on their last possession of the half. When we come back, first half numbers and the second half kickoff from RFK straight ahead.
Nexium 24-hour. It's the purple pill, the #1 prescription.
Welcome back to the 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. From RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., just about ready for the second half. This battle for the real HU. The Hampton Pirates leading the Howard Bison 16-8, along with former Howard and NFL quarterback Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. And first half, Hampton scored their first 2 times with a football, Jay, but Howard big for them to score on their last possession and then convert for 2 points.
Yeah, it looked like the Pirates were going to run away with everything. They were having their way throwing the ball down the field, but unable to complete a couple of drives that allowed the Bison to hang around. And going into halftime, we just have a 1-score football game, and more importantly, Howard scored their first points of the year. I think they stole a little bit of momentum at the end of the first half.
Chase Powell, number 10. Darius Banks there, number 4 on the right of your screen, back to receive this kick. And John Fleck to get us started into half number 2. And here we go from RFK Stadium. Best kickoff of the night from Fleck since 8 yards into the end zone and thinking better about it. Taking a knee is Darius Banks, and Hampton to begin at their own 25-yard line. Hampton in that first half had the touchdown throw from Watford to the fullback Allen for their first score. Then Watford a 9-yard TD run. Freeman really came alive, especially late in that second quarter for Howard with a 35-yard touchdown run and the 2-point conversion. Brown with a 30-yard field goal, though, as time expired for Hampton. Still a 1-score game, though. 8 points. Watford with a quick strike to Riddick. Tackled at the 35-yard line for a quick 10-yard gain. Elijah Englund brings him down.
And once again, Hampton continues to throw the ball on first down, elected not to run the football, even though I thought they've had good success when they did choose to run the football. The starting running back, Dukes, is averaging 5.7 yards a carry, and Watford's averaging 4 yards a carry. So there's yardage to be gained running the football on the ground for the Pirates.
Watford will hand it off this time, and Dukes got redirected in the backfield but hung on to the football and rushes to the 40 for 5 yards. Jacob Bennett and England with the stop.
And for what this offense likes to do, Dukes is, you want to call him the perfect back. He's a guy where if you try and tackle him in the backfield for a loss, he's going to make you miss. And catching the ball out of the backfield, very good receiver, has the ability to create some mismatch problems.
Dukes 8 carries for 47 yards on the delay, gets it again, and that time with some second effort and third effort up to the 45 for a gain of 5. I didn't think he was going to get much on that.
It's not pretty, but this is the stuff that really wears out your opponent come the fourth quarter. You establish an identity knowing that you can run the football, you can pick up the tough yardage. One thing that every defense wants to do is try and make an offense one-dimensional. If you show the ability to run the football and throw the football, you really keep the defense on their heels.
Second down and 5 for the Pirates. Watford play fake, rolling right. He's being chased and he throws downfield and underthrows the intended receiver Leon Shorter. But there was some heavy pursuit coming from England and Russ.
Good pursuit, and the pursuit did not allow Watford to stop and set his feet and deliver the ball downfield. The receiver was open with not enough arm strength to get it running that far and that fast sideways.
Here comes a third down and 5 for Hampton on this, the first possession of the second half. Over the empty backfield. Wide left, top of the screen is Shorter in the slot on that side, as well as Saquon Gooding.
Looks like they're getting one-on-one coverage across the board. I'd try and find a mismatch with number 5 in the slot.
There's Mixon in the slot on the near side. He crosses, makes the catch, has the first down, breaks a tackle. Now comes towards the near sideline. 35, 30, inside the 25. He's out of bounds near the 20, pushed out by Trayvon Hunt. And that is the weapon indeed that they use, Jay, for a 35-yard pickup.
I used to play football a little bit, Mark. I used to play quarterback.
I hear stories about that.
Sometimes you make it simple. One-on-one, find your best matchup. And if your best matchup is with Mixon, one-on-one, let him get open and the rest is all him. Very hard to bring down. That's why you have that number 1 or that go-to receiver for situations like that. When you get the one-on-one look, give credit to Watford for realizing the defensive coverage and taking advantage of the matchup.
Mixon, a first-team All-MEAC performer last year. First down, Hampton, the 22 of the Bison.
2 tight end formation. They're going to try and pound the football.
And give it to Duke straight ahead for about 2 to the 20. Duke's coming out. We're going to bring Garrett back in. A quick breather for the redshirt senior. Dukes out of Mobile, Alabama.
I'd like to see him run behind big number 77 on the left side. Torian White, 6'7", 310-pounder.
Fighting his way forward is Chase Powell. Tackled by Ufona Idwe. Gain of 3. Powell, just a redshirt sophomore, transfer out of Winston-Salem State. That sounds like a familiar school to Hampton fans. Of course, that's where Coach Maynard played quarterback at Winston-Salem State.
Easy. No. Can't let you say that. Coached at Winston-Salem State.
And
well, he did his freshman year. He was at Winston-Salem State. But
then he went to
NC A&T. At North Carolina A&T.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right, Mark.
And yes, you're right. Did coach at Winston-Salem State. Was the offensive architect of back-to-back HBCU national titles there. This is Chase Powell. Tackled by Bennett at the 12.
This is going to be close. This is where you get the personality of the coach. Thought he was going to get the first down. Mark just a little bit short. 4th and 1. You're in a rivalry football game.
Is there any question?
Normally you kick the field goal, you put them down by more than just a touchdown or 2-point conversion. But the aggressive nature of play selection from Hampton No surprise they're electing to go for it here as they bring in the big fullback Thomas Allen. Follow the fullback.
Watford keeping, and he has the first down on 4th and short. Tackled by David Lee. Of course, the head coach, Connell Maynard's also the offensive coordinator. A little hobble as Garrett comes off. Dukes has come back into the football game for Hampton. Yeah, I tell you, we mentioned it. Eric Carter had been Hampton's
10:46
#1 running back coming into the season. He got hurt early in their first game. And you saw Garrett just come off there hobbling. That is not good for Hampton. They see that depth of running back being chipped away. Handed off Dukes. Falls forward inside the 5 all the way down to the 4. Elijah Englund to tackle Thomas Allen, the fullback, clearing the path, and a 7-yard run for Chris Dukes.
They've got some creases there, and came out in the second half. You could tell the game plan was simple. We're going to pound the football, follow the fullback, lead block, mixes it up. Great job of lowering the shoulder pad level by Dukes.
Watford pitches to Dukes, runs right, cuts up, still backs into the end zone, touchdown. They could not bring him down. 4-yard touchdown run for Chris Dukes.
We mentioned he's not very large, 5'8", 190 pounds, but that was pure will. Is not going to be denied. Did a good job of finding the hole, and once he was held up by the Bison defenders, kept the legs going. Pull through for the touchdown score.
His first rushing touchdown of the season, and the point after it was knocked through by Adam Brown. An 11-play drive that went 75 yards in just under 5 minutes, and Hampton responds to start the second half, Jay.
That's what you needed to do. Establish control of the line of scrimmage. Use the big offensive line to wear down the Bison.
Welcome back to the AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. The battle for the real HU. Hampton leading Howard 23-8, largest lead of the game for the Pirates. They just capped off an 11-play, 75-yard drive in just under 5 minutes to begin this second half. Adam Brown will kick it away. Hampton scored on their first 2 possessions of the game. Went 3 possessions without scoring, and now they've scored on their last 2, including a field goal at the end of the half. This is short, grabbed at the 22 by Rodney Tyson. Tyson slips through a couple of tacklers and is up to the 41-yard line before being brought down by Chaka Diarasuba. Well, Quantius Freeman has really helped spark this Howard offense, Jay.
He's done a good job carrying the load. The durable back has had some great runs, explosiveness. They found some creases that they were able to take advantage of. And what you like really about this run was able to cap off the drive and give the Bison their first points on the season.
Up over 100 yards, averaging just about 8 per carry. They put a heavy load on Freeman the last couple of possessions, including their touchdown. They scored on their final possession of the first half. Cunningham rolling out, lets it go and just sails it out of bounds. Had Miles Grooms on his heels.
You know, we say it so often. If your offensive coordinator calls a pass play on first down, they just want positive yardage. That case there, because Cunningham was indecisive about whether to run the ball or throw the ball, ends up throwing it away for no gain. I thought he could have run for 3 or 4 yards easily had he committed to running.
In motion, Avery. Play fake again. Cunningham dumps it off underneath, but right into a crowd. Charles Owens with the tackle on Freeman, the loss of a yard.
Let's go back and take a look at that last play in the pursuit by Grooms. This is that engine that everybody likes. He's outflanked by 3 or 4 yards. Cunningham hesitates. Good defensive end like Miles Grooms. He's going to make you pay.
Still gave him a lick. Cunningham going deep down the near side. Coming back to the ball at the 30. Lemonnier. Is it a catch or not? Yes. 26-yard pickup for the freshman.
Way to come back, and you see the freshman earlier in the first half did not come back for the ball. This time does a good job of adjusting to the football. Comes back and able to make the catch.
Cunningham lost it for a moment, but covers it back up at the 42 as the onslaught of the Hampton defense was right on top of him. Hampton almost coughs it up, and there's a Hampton player down.
You see McAfee, number 31, on the left side of your screen. He and Miles Groom having a race to the quarterback.
It's Keith
Let's
McAfee,
have a media timeout.
number 31.
Timeout.
He was slow to get up, so there's a timeout. 8:53 to go in this third quarter. Hampton has scored on their first possession to open up a 23-8 lead.
AT&T presents the strongest of the strong.
Okay, guys, let's see who can write the strongest tweet to show your school pride. Go.
I have people who tweet for me.
The AT&T Nations Classic is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Another one of the great memorials here in D.C., that one of Martin Luther King Jr. We have 8:53 left, third quarter from RFK Stadium in D.C. In this AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. Hampton scored on their first possession of this second half. This is Howard's first possession. Second down and 22 after the first sack of the game for either team. Has pushed Howard all the way back to the 42-yard line of Hampton. Cunningham giving more ground. Groom coming after him. There's a flag. Could be a hold. The pass is off the hands of Mercer at the 32. Actually, that's Avery. But the flag back at midfield may very well be a hold.
Miles Groom induced the holding penalty there. Nice rush. And as the quarterback was trying to leave the pocket, Torrey Bowie, the tackle, is going to be called for the hold. And those are the things that you like to see when a scout is taking a look at a prospect.
Holding offense, number 58. That penalty is declined. Third down.
When you're going to judge a prospect, even though you couldn't get to the quarterback, he forced this penalty. They had to hold him, and it was all energy. Hard speed rush up top, and Boyd is holding. Right when he pulls away, he's got the jersey. That's that engine that defensive coordinators absolutely love to have on the football field.
Didn't take the penalty, but it is a 3rd and 22 from their own 42. Play fake. Cunningham throws. Incomplete for Mercer at the 22-yard line. Justin Williams on the coverage.
And that wasn't a great thrown pass, but you need to make that catch. I mean, that's when we have to help out your quarterback. Great play selection. They fooled the defense, found a crease behind the linebackers. You're going to get hit anyway, so you need to come down with this football.
Short-armed it a bit. Mercer's a guy who came to the football team initially as a walk-on. He's been a track guy, a long jumper and pole vaulter at Howard. Reddick back to receive the punt, and this high punt goes out of bounds and around the 15. The punt from Fleck will go for 23 yards. So as we hit 10 o'clock here on the East Coast,
What do they always say? You can call holding on every play in a college football game if you want to. And that's a perfect example there.
And they didn't call holding on that play.
Did you say it was 10 o'clock?
It is.
I think the officials might have realized that. This game has been crawling along.
We're glad to have you with us from this AT&T Nations Football Classic at RFK Stadium. And loose ball. And Howard has it. Jalen Day recovers. And this may be the break that Howard's looking for. Elijah Anglin punched it out. Recovered by number 41, Jalen Day.
For Hampton, it's always been a tale of two teams. You have a team on the ropes, you don't put them away. Now you come over and give them a turnover and give the offense a great starting position, putting your pressure on your defense. Poor ball security. Jalen Day with the fumble recovery.
And Dukes coughs it up. Each team now with 2 turnovers, and Hampton takes back over the 24-yard line. We'll advance it to about the 20. Tackle made by McAfee. Howard right back to the line with his no huddle offense. Second down and 7. In motion is Colvin. Cunningham gives ground, throws it back to the near side to Freeman, who's spinning around and surrounded by blue jerseys. The closest being Keith McAfee, who drops it back at the 28 for a loss of 6.
And that was great pursuit. We talk about the team speed of Hampton. Great effort by Keith McAfee. He knew that play was coming. Although he'd given up outside leverage, still not giving up his angle of pursuit. And he's the reason why that play did not pick up many yards.
3rd and 13. Cunningham pulls it back down. Looked at Freeman. Now will go to him. Makes the catch. Tackled at the 22 by Joshua Thorne. Good 6 yards, 7 yards from the first down. They're going to bring out Fleck and attempt a field goal. This will be about a 40-yard attempt. Officially going to make it about 39.
When you make the field goal, you go down by 12. You still need 2 scores. The defense gave you great position. I'm surprised they're not electing to go for it.
And Fleck knocks it through. So a 39-yard field goal from John Fleck. And Howard does come away with points after the Hampton turnover. It's 23-11 Pirates.
Jets Colts at 8:15 Monday.
Let's take a look at tonight's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. Well, Howard to kick off. 6:05 to play in this 3rd quarter. Chase Powell, Darius Banks back deep for Hampton. Banks from a couple yards deep started to come out, but thought better of it. Well, on that field goal, that 39-yard field goal hit by Fleck, the holder, Jalen Avery, able to get this snap down.
Didn't panic.
Just in time.
Yeah, that was the key. Didn't panic. So often you see the holder start to rush and fiddle with the ball, and they end up dropping it. Nice patience. Good job by Fleck to follow through and give him that extra half a second.
Yeah, I guess as a kicker for Fleck, you have to assume at some point the ball is going to be where it needs to be, and you've got to make your approach. Good kicker, Fleck, out of Indianapolis. Indiana's been one of the better kickers in the MEAC. He kicked a 17-yard field goal with 17 seconds left to finish that 23-point comeback to beat Hampton 30-29 last year at Green Stadium. Completion is shorter. Lost the ball. Still loose. Howard recovers. So turnovers on back-to-back possessions for the Pirates. And Jalen Day recovers another. That's the second fumble he has recovered now.
Rivalry games. There's something about rivalry football. The hits are a little bit intensified and wacky things tend to happen. That was a good throw. Good pocket. Everything was there except didn't hold on to the football on the fumble.
I think it was Craig Johnson, 39, able to punch it out right and knock that to the ground for Day to pick it up and recover it. So 2 recoveries now for Day, and Howard takes over at the 44 up to the just inside the 40. And the carry for Freeman. Gain of 4 on first down. Howard right back to the line. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. 2 to the right, including Coleman. Handed off Freeman. Has a bigger crease this time on a first down run up to the 30, just outside the 30. Chaka Darius Suba with its stop.
And what you're starting to see, those holes are starting to open up, and it's not as if Howard is overpowering them down in the trenches, but they're finding creases and exploiting some holes in the defensive front of Hampton.
Tyson takes over for Freeman in the backfield. He has the carry here and is stood up and driven down by big number 95 Robert Zimmerman. No gain. Five minutes to go. Third quarter from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. Battle for the real HU, as they call it. The Pirates and Bison fans. Cunningham hands off to Tyson, but again he's hit. He's going to be dropped for about a yard loss by Chaka Suba. Freeman's going to come back in. Now look at that last play. Man, that ball may have been out, but it was not reviewed. That was 2 plays ago. And Zimmerman tackled Tyson.
Soft coverage. Just take the underneath route.
But Cunningham can't get rid of it. And he's dropped back at the 33-yard line for a loss. By Zimmerman and Grooms. So on 4th down, Fleck comes out to punt. So Howard unable to take advantage of the Hampton turnover that time.
So often teams will start to play the blame game. Offense blames the defense. Defense blames the offense.
Fleck trying to pin him in. And does. Nope. Almost. Nope. He did get it in at the 2. That ball bounced right at the 2, and I thought it may have bounced over the pylon from our angle here, but Fleck does his job and pins in Hampton back at their own 2-yard line. Okay, we'll call it the 3. Hits at the 3 and then had it sideways and out. Great punt. Well, rivals collide in an early season SEC doubleheader. First at 6, it's the college football primetime presented by Hilton when South Carolina travels to Athens to take on number 7 Georgia. Then at 9:15, number 2 Alabama looking for some revenge against number 15 Ole Miss. Saturday on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Last 2 plays prior to that for Hampton had been fumbles, but here's a carry for the fullback Thomas Allen up to the 7, a gain of 3.
Now they've got a little breathing room on the run by Allen. Take a deep shot. Why not? You're backed up. You got tall wide receivers there, some of the best wide receivers in the conference. Figure a 40-yard pass down the field. If it's intercepted, that's just as good as a punt. They've got big play capability. On the bottom of the screen, it's Leon Shorter.
Quick strike to Riddick. Up to the 18, wrapped up by Elijah England, and a first down for Hampton, a gain of 11. Mixing the receiver at the top of the screen. Watford play fake and has to just get rid of it because he had a man, Marquise Blanchard, right in his face. And why is there not a flag there?
Saying he's still inside the tackle box and between the two tackles.
Am I off base there?
Yeah, with the ball crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And he was still in between the tackles, even though it was a long play action.
Okay. But he did get it across the line.
Yeah. That's another good job by Blanchard. They've tried to fool him several times of giving up his outside contain from his defensive end position. He hasn't fallen for it yet. That's a hold.
Yeah, there comes the flag, and Powell tackled by Jalen Day.
And this is Blanchard again. Great effort by Blanchard. Spun his offensive lineman around, and they were forced to hold him.
Holding offense, number 77. Half the distance to the goal. Piece of go.
So the hold on Torian White. 6'6", 305-pound senior from Inglewood, California, who's a transfer from UCLA. Just over 2 minutes to go, third quarter from DC. Watford the give to Powell. Well defended again. Midway with a tackle. That's going to be a loss of 1.
Give credit to this Howard defense. Seems like they've been on the field for a number of snaps tonight, and they've found a way to frustrate this Hampton offense. Just when Hampton seems to get comfortable offensively, the Bison come up and make a play and keep their team in this ball game.
Time, but from his goal line, throws dangerously and caught, and enough for the first down. Saquon Gooding. 2 defenders around it. One was Zalante Dunn. It's a 23-yard gain and a first down. Big conversion for Hampton to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Look at the pocket, allowing the receivers long enough time to get downfield. And Gooding showing you senior leadership. You're going to get hit anyway. You might as well catch the football. It's a nice grab.
Powell races forward to the 35 for a gain. Forward tackled by Johnson. Jay, we haven't really seen a whole lot of blitzing tonight, have we?
No, which has been surprising because that's a staple for Coach Petty, Coach defensive unit. I think that Hampton was anticipating more blitz looks than they have seen tonight. And what Howard has forced them to do is play disciplined football. And that's where the penalties have come in to hurt Hampton, and along with a couple of turnovers.
Mixing the receiver at the top of the screen. Play clock at 5. Now they start showing blitz. Here's a pitch. Running right to the 38-yard line. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter after the run by Powell. 3 quarters finished here at RFK Stadium in the AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. 23-11 Hampton. A Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon, ESPNU brings you College Football Sunday. From Heisman hopefuls to championship contenders, College Football Sunday is the only show that ranks them all exclusively on ESPNU and Watch ESPN. Ready to begin the fourth quarter. 23-11 lead for Hampton over Howard in this 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. Look at the trophy and the hardware to the winner of this game. Hampton trying to snap a 4-game skid against Howard. They have not beaten the Bison since 2010, but had won 14 in a row in the rivalry prior to that. So here we go, fourth quarter, a 3rd down and 3. Hampton not sure where that was headed. It was in the direction of Shorter, but he was well covered by Hunt and Dunn.
Well, trying to get the quick slant in there. Shorter looking for pass interference. Didn't happen. And now you have to punt the football away if you're Hampton. I know you want to be aggressive.
Can't risk that, can you?
Not for the battle of field position that's taking place.
Especially when you have a 2-score lead. Jalen Avery back at 25 for Howard. Christian favored Kenny to punt. That's going to back Avery up all the way to the 11. To the 22 on the return. So returns at about 11 yards. And time for Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. Well, the fans of these two schools like to call it the battle for the real HU. That's some of the flavor here tonight at RFK Stadium in D.C. for the AT&T Nations Football Classic. Howard takes over at their own 22. Cunningham delivers, picked off. He threw it behind Avery and into the arms of Brendan Cole. The 3rd Howard turnover.
That's just inexcusable right there. That's just a poor pass. Wide open wide receiver in front of you on a crossing route. Throw it behind the receiver. Easy interception. And coming off the play action, does a good job of stepping up in the pocket. But I think this is just from rust. Missed the first 2 games of the season. That's just a miss as a quarterback at a very costly time in this football game.
Well, you talk about the rust. You know, last year he only attempted 1 pass, Jay. It was a completion. And then you go back to 2013, he attempted 11 passes. So it's not like this guy's thrown the football a lot for Howard. And obviously Greg McGee was around prior to this. And 3rd turnover for Howard, and Watford running out of time, heading towards the sideline. And
that's why I questioned a little bit, you know, Howard, it's conference game. They said, okay, we're going to play well. We've got our quarterback back. But it's still yet to be proven if Cunningham is a legitimate big-time quarterback in this conference. He's got some tools. He can do it. He's paid his dues, but this is his first real experience in this type of football game, taking over with his football team. He's had some spot starts before, but they were really relying on Cunningham to get them going, and it's unfortunate that he hasn't looked as sharp, and the rust is shown several times in this ball game.
Give it to Powell. It came off the left edge. He curls back towards this near side to the 15-10, pulled down there. Thomas Allen able to catch him, but Craig Johnson that is, but nonetheless, nice run for Powell. 22-yard gain.
Jet sweeping. They found some ways to find some opening in daylight. They're just trying to get their athletes out there in open space, and this is all Powell, the 5'8", 170-pound sophomore from right here in Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
1st and goal, Pirates. Give is Garrett. Dwayne Garrett for 5. Ibrahima Kibe with the tackle for Howard. There's Kibe, the redshirt senior out of here in D.C., Woodrow Wilson High School. Watford hands it off again to Garrett. He'll just gain a yard or so to the 4. Kibe and Richard Johnson helping out on the tackle.
Now, Thomas Allen, the fullback, his helmet came off. So now he's got to leave the game in what would be a short yardage situation, which they like to have him there. There's another Hampton player with the helmet off as well.
Shorter than
Leon Shorter.
Yeah.
So Shorter's their wide receiver with size. He's 6'2", so he's your fade option down there. And you've also got Thomas Allen, the fullback, out, so they have to bring in Javaris Giles to replace him as a fullback in a short yardage run situation. Now, with the timeout, though, those guys are eligible to come back.
Hampton uses their first timeout here in the second half to discuss this 3rd and goal coming up.
Introducing the
just under 12.5 minutes to go, 4th quarter from D.C. 23-11 Hampton leading Howard, and Connell Maynard using a timeout with this 3rd and goal play upcoming. Now what he can do, Jay, in essence, he had 2 players lose a helmet. Thomas Allen is fullback and Leon Shorter, number 17. We're going to have to come out for a play, but they're able to buy them back into the game in essence by using that timeout.
Yeah, a little surprised we don't see them on the field that they didn't elect to do that, particularly the case of the fullback.
3rd down, the run, Watford, and he's going to turn into the end zone. Touchdown. The block came from Dwayne Garrett. He gets Watford into the end zone. And it's a 29-11 lead for Hampton. They busted open to a 3-score game. Extra point attempt for Adam Brown. (30-11) Hampton.
We're going to call this a sweep right. Paul Hornick style. Good block by the fullback Giles, the backup fullback in there, and then Dwayne Garrett, a running back, got just enough of the defender to allow Watford to make it into the end zone.
2nd rushing touchdown of the game for the quarterback Watford as they take advantage of the Howard miscues. Just 5 plays gets him into the end zone. The experience that Watford brings has been very evident on the field tonight, Jim.
And one of the things you have to learn, I transferred into Howard University, and my first time going through the MEAC conference, had to learn how physical South Carolina State could be, what it's like to play Florida A&M when they were rolling. And it's not going to be an easy ride for them. You've got some really, really tough teams out there. And when you talk to Wofford, he's learned right away the skill positions. They've got some players. It's just down in the trenches where you see the big difference between FBS and FCS.
Tyson takes it from the 10 up to the 27-yard line. Well, Pac-12 rivals clash in an important early season conference test. Cody Kessler is Jay's early Heisman favorite. But a lot of football still to play.
Plenty of football.
And they're having a discussion with his kicker, Adam Brown.
One of the most competitive guys you'll meet.
He wants that extra 10 yards on the kick, doesn't he?
Oh, he wants it all. And competitive in golf, competitive in everything that he does.
Cunningham off the hands of Colvin. First time they've targeted Matthew Colvin tonight, which really surprises me because good receiver. with some height.
And right now we're just seeing the rustiness of Cunningham. I mean, Colvin was open. He missed a simple curl route throw right in front of him, pulled him away from him. And you just almost think like the chemistry hasn't been there from working together in the game situation with game speed.
Cunningham going deep down the far sideline, but well out of reach of the intended receiver Colvin. So going after him, targeting him a second straight play. Third and 10. Howard has won 4 straight in this rivalry with Hampton, but that streak in serious jeopardy of ending here tonight. And Cunningham on third down, picked off once again. Darian Carr at the 48 of Howard.
And it started to get ugly. I mean, 3 consecutive incompletions followed off with an interception, and none of those throws was even close. And you heard the same conference call I heard when we talked to all the coaches. They were really counting on Cunningham to come in here and be the spark. It's not been there tonight.
4th turnover committed by the Howard Bison. May we see Johnson at quarterback at some point.
The AT&T Nations Classic is presented by McDonald's and in part by Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Looking west on the National Mall towards the Lincoln Memorial on a pleasant night in Washington, D.C. From RFK Stadium, the 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's has 11:52 to go. 30-11 lead for Hampton. And after the 4th Howard turnover, here's Watford going for it all, and there's his man, and dropped by T.J. Mixon. You don't see that very often. Sure-handed receiver had a sure 6.
Great time, great protection, great pass, great route, bad catch. I mean, he put this ball on the M-O-N-E-Y.
And Mixon does all those things you just mentioned well. Great routes, normally very sure hands. The only thing when we talk to the coaches, you know, what's TJ need to do better? They say, hey, we'd like to see him block a little better on the edge, but that's nitpicking for what he brings to the receiving side of things. Powell out of bounds at the 42, and a flag.
Block in the back. Number 11 in blue, Alonzo. That's one thing Hampton has to do a better job of. They are highly penalized, and these are obvious fouls.
Seventh penalty for 74 yards tonight against the Pirates.
Holding offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. It's a first down.
They called it a hold. I'm not so sure it wasn't just a block in the back, or what they just call clipping. Gets beat on the inside and pushing him in the back. Remember the old clipping call?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that went on for about 4 yards up the field there. That was a pretty easy one to catch. Deflected, somehow caught by Shorter. That initially went off the hand of Johnson for Howard, and it turns into a 2-yard gain.
And this is where the rivalry perspective comes into this game. I can tell you, Hampton is not satisfied beating Howard 30-11. You know, down on the field, you know, they said, if we can run the scoreboard off, we will. And that's why they're coming up with these trick plays, trying to get it. And that's what happens when you play your rival. Try and send a statement for years to come.
Watford. That time Alonso kind of got spun around and had a couple of defenders in the area, including Trayvon Hunt. Well, they had the 6 on the first play of the drive, but off the fingertips, off the hands of Mixon, and now they'll punt. Christian Faber-Kinney punts with Avery at the 20 of Howard. Fair catch called for and taken at the 17 by Avery. 43-yard punt for Christian Faber-Kinney. Tower ball when we come back with 10:36 to play from RFK. Folks may recognize the guy on the right, Jay.
A.J. Callaway, my buddy. We were on the yard together at Howard. And, Reverend Matthew Watley behind him. We were all classmates at Howard. And I got to give him some slack for sitting on the Hampton sideline. But
A.J. Callaway was part of E.T.
Entertainment correspondent.
Now the Howard offense with 10:36 to go, down 30-11 in this battle for the real HU. Cunningham on the quarterback draw to the 20 for 3 yards. Tackle by Keith McAfee. First start for Cunningham. Again, did not play in the first couple of games due to some academic issues. 3 picks. Throws on the move and a completion, but immediately tackled at the 33-yard line. Mercer, actually Avery. But when you're replacing Greg McGee, I mean that's one of the all-time greats, not only at Howard but in the MEAC.
Greg McGee now playing in the Canadian Football League.
Completion to the tight end Miles Williams. First down Howard up to the 46-yard line.
But this is something that I believe that Cunningham will learn from. When you have expectations on you to be the leader of the offense, you just can't assume everything is going to go perfect for you right away. You have to be tested.
Grooms coming after Cunningham, and the flag comes out. He just throws it out of bounds. As Grooms had Deontay Allen Wright beat, and Wright may have held him.
Holding offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. Hit the down.
Indeed, that's the case. Miles Grooms has been a tough matchup tonight, hasn't he?
Non-stop. Relentless. And I think this is something that young players can learn from. We haven't called his name on a number of sacks, but we've called his name a number of times. So he's been able to create penalties. He's been able to flush the quarterback out of the pocket.
So the hold puts Howard behind the chains at a 1st and 20. Colvin, the receiver, at the top of the screen. Cunningham goes to him, and a catch by Colvin at the 48-yard line. Wrapped up by Darius Banks. 13-yard gain.
And this is where you see Howard has the ability to spread the ball around, but they need the consistency. We've seen a couple nice throws from Cunningham after a poor last series.
Freeman into Hampton territory to the 48. Grooms with the stop. Gain of 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4. And they started at 1st and 20 after the hold. Cunningham going for it all in the direction of Lemonnier. Incomplete at the 10. The coverage by Williams. The freshman Guy Lemonnier, now he's slow to get up. MEAC being attended to. Well, rivals will collide in an early season SEC doubleheader.
They beat them last year, didn't they?
They did, and in Oxford.
I don't know if that helps their cause this year or it hurts their cause. It helps because you know you can beat the team.
Yes, but
as we talked, they've been averaging 70 points a game. If they can score 35 points in Tuscaloosa, they'll win the ball game.
Probably so. I'd give them that. But are they going to score 35 points tomorrow at Tuscaloosa?
I don't think so. But they've got a pretty good defense as well. And
as they tend to MEAC. How about, Jay, you give me 5?
Here you go. It's a rivalry game here, and I'm going to get it started early. Number 5, you notice I'm such a Howard guy.
Yes.
I can't call them Hampton University. It's Hampton Institute University. So this is starting to emerge as one of the big rivalries. So it's HU versus HIU. Yes, Dr. Harvey, I said it. Number 4. FAMU Bethune-Cookman. You've seen that game up close and personal. The Florida Classic.
Fun in Orlando.
When it means something, people really get after it. How about this one? Number 3. Let's take it down south into Tennessee. Jackson State, Tennessee State. Southern Heritage Classic. Always a high-level football. 2. Magic City. Alabama A&M, Alabama State. Coaches get fired when you lose those games.
That happened last year.
Yeah, and the number 1 game, it's back. The granddaddy of them all is back.
Bayou, baby.
Bayou Classic. Grambling versus Southern. Both teams are playing at a high level. And on the bubble, look what I got. Prairie View versus Texas Southern. A&T versus Central. That's the Ag Eagle Classic. And here's one you probably don't know about. Tuskegee House. The Tuskegee House Classic. Tuskegee taking on Morehouse every year down there in Georgia. That's a good one. Those are my top 5 rivalry games. And this game has just emerged on that list.
Good give me 5. MEAC helped off, not putting any weight on that left leg. Avery, the intended receiver, flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Offsides, defense number 31. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
McAfee offsides from the Hampton defense. First down, Howard.
I think one of the things in a rivalry game that has to be part of it is if it can get a coach fired, then that's a rivalry game.
Cunningham delivers a strike to Mercer. He advances inside the 30 and a first down up to the 27-yard line with the tackle by Tyrone Ward. That's a 17-yard gain.
Well, they took advantage of the assists. We talk about the penalties from Hampton. It would have been a 4th and 5. Instead, they jump off sides and give Howard the first down, and they keep the drive alive.
Catch again by Mercer. Brought down at 20 by Darius Banks. Couple of catches in a row from Mercer. Had 19 catches a year ago, 3 touchdowns. And a guy who came to the team from the track team at Howard. Cunningham, ball fake, finds his man at the 10 and racing towards the end zone. Colvin dives in for the touchdown. 19-yard TD, Matthew Colvin.
And that's the drive that, being an alum of Howard, I want to see that drive. You know, everybody's been talking about what happened last week versus Boston College, what happened versus App State. The fact is, you're getting beat, but you don't quit. And they showed some fight right there. This game, Hampton's got a nice, comfortable lead. You've struggled all day, but you continue to show that fight, continue to try to improve.
Well, they're going to go for 2, which, if successful, would make it an 11-point game where they could tie it with a touchdown and 2-point conversion and a field goal. Coming towards the pylon. Is he in? Yes. Freeman makes it an 11-point game. So a touchdown on a 9-play drive that went 83 yards.
Best drive of the season for the Bison. Throwing underneath, taking what the defense will give you, getting into the end zone, and a nice 2-point conversion.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's AT&T strong performance. Really, it's come from the counterpart of Cunningham, David Watford, the Hampton quarterback.
A lot of people wanted to see what this kid was made of. He's gotten rave reviews, and he didn't disappoint me at all. Showed the arm strength, showed the touch, showed the nice decision making, and something I didn't expect to see, mobility. I knew he could run the football, but showed he can be a weapon running the football.
All right, 8:10 to go, Jay. You're down 11, Howard is. Too soon to onside kick?
I would say at this point, I wouldn't go for the onside kick. Kick it deep and try and get a stop. 3 plays and out. Because you're down by that 11, field goal makes your job that much harder. So field position still is at a premium.
Indeed, kick deep over the head of Powell, and it's going to come out to the 25.
And now, you can put the pressure on your defense. If they can come up with a 3 and out and Howard can get some more offense, this thing can get close very quickly.
It can indeed.
And we saw in the first half, Hampton did not have the ability to close out the first half. I'm sure the Bison are hoping for the same lack of ability to close it out. Hampton did not close it out versus Richmond a week ago when they were up by 10 in the 4th quarter. Now they're up by 11. 4th quarter, 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, last week they led Richmond 14-0, led them 28-16, then lost 31-28. Watford running himself, lost the football, and Howard recovers. Jacob Bennett with the recovery.
Now they're staying on the field like
they think he was down.
It was a fumble, but they're definitely going to take a look at this. This is crucial right here.
Well, the call on the field was that he's down.
I mean, you have to look at it just because of the magnitude of the situation.
Yes.
The previous play is under review. The ruling on the field with the runner was down prior to the ball coming loose. The play will be reviewed.
So Rob Gilbert, the replay official, will get another look, as will we. I don't know. I think it's a fumble.
It's out.
Kebe punching it out. I don't think the left knee was down, but is there enough to overturn the call here? Again, call on the field is that he's down. This has been the best look that we've seen. Here comes number 56. It's going to dislodge the ball. Kebe.
His knee is bent.
And it's not down, and it's out. That's a fumble.
That ball's away from his body.
This should be Howard football.
And I like this second look because you'll be able to see once contact is made, he pops it away from the body. It's away from his body, almost a foot. So if you combine the 2 angles.
Is what we saw enough to overturn it, though? To me, I think so. But it's not that ultimate definitive look that gives you 100% certainty.
And one thing I like that the crews have been doing is they're looking at multiple angles and they're telling the story, putting the pieces together.
They can do just what you said, Jay. They can put 2 different looks together and figure out timing-wise, okay, I may be screened and not get the best look.
Let's see when the knee is down. See, that knee is it on the ground? It's bent, but it looks like the ball is.
Yeah, that it's almost, that could be an optical illusion. Perhaps his knee is actually down there. Because what we're looking at, is it down right there?
And then you take that one, you have to look at the other angle to see at that point, is it out? Now I'm starting to see it becomes cloudy.
It's become a lot more cloudy now.
And when it's cloudy, what do?
You stand with the call on the field.
Call on the field.
Tough to tell because of the bodies in the way.
I don't know if there's just a good enough look to determine. I thought the end zone look would show something.
Yeah, I changed my tune on that one. I thought it was going to be overturned, but now that I look at it, it was tough to tell when his knee was down, looking at the replay, at least for me, the first couple of times.
Yeah. And I think he fumbled, but I think there's not enough evidence to overturn the fumble. They may have another look that they can look at and zoom in on.
Well, if they were to overturn it, things would get really interesting in a hurry, because Howard would have the ball just outside the Hampton 30 with 7:31 to play. Yes, down 11, but have all 3 of their timeouts as well. Been a lot of difficult replays to look at tonight for our replay official Ron Gilbert.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The run was down. It will be second down. The ball was placed at the correct spot. The game clock will start on the ready for play.
Wasn't confirmed. They say it stands. Disbelieving Gary Harrell.
Ooh. Now, if 46 and White had not been there, I think we would have seen it all.
Yeah, he screened it.
It seemed like that ball came out in a hurry, but if they had to go with what the rule says, not enough evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Jet sweep, Chase Powell to the 32, gain of 4. So the clock rolling now. 7 minutes and some change left here at RFK Stadium in this 5th annual AT&T Nations Football Classic presented by McDonald's. 3rd and 3 for the Hampton offense. Mixing the receiver at the bottom of the screen. And escaping Watford. He's got a chance to run for the first down and does so. He's out of bounds at the 45. Jalen Day had him dead to rights, but instead a 13-yard gain, first down. The drive continues.
Been his night. Should have been a sure sack, possibly a fumble from the backside. He didn't see it, but great recognition. And look at the athleticism that he's able to escape. And not only avoid the sack, but pick up the first down.
Swung out and dropped by Chase Powell. That's not a live ball. It was a forward pass. Stops the clock with 6:14 to go. Dumped off to the back, Garrett, but he's hit and tackled for a loss. Back at the 40-yard line by David Lee. That loses a yard.
Big hit. And you're starting to see that fight from Howard University. Defensive side of the ball. And this is a good sign. If you're a fan of Howard, the team is hung in there all night.
Howard next week takes on Oregon State up at Soldier Field in the Chicago Football Classic. Those two teams played at MetLife Stadium in New York
illegal
last year.
Substitution, 12 men in the formation, defense, 5-yard penalty. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So 3rd and 11 becomes 3rd and 6. Hampton, by the way, is just down the road at Norfolk State next weekend. So
Battle of the Bay.
Yeah. Another rivalry game for them. Watford drops back to throw and zings a strike to Mixon. 30-25, and he's out of bounds there.
That's what you can do when you have a quarterback. Wide receiver get open, you know the ball's going to be there. Perfect location. We know that Mixon's a good receiver, and good job of forcing the defensive back to twist his hips. Watch the wiggle at the top. Gave him a little wiggle at the top to freeze the safety. Nice separation. That's a nice route by Mixon.
28-yard gain. Well, I tell you what, David Watford throwing him the passes this year. Mixon, who's already a guy who was first team All MEAC last year, poised to have another big season.
Huge season. Imagine had he caught that bomb that he dropped. Probably the easiest catch he'll have all season.
But he still has 6 catches for 119 yards. But you're right, he'd be looking at 7 catches at about 160.
And Mark, you know, I did it again. You know, social media out there now, so people are commenting about my Gimme 5 list. A couple people notice how I slid that HIU in there.
I know.
So
little dig at who the real HU is.
Yeah. But I had some people though. You have to know your knowledge. You can't say that Tuskegee versus Alabama State's a big rivalry because they don't play each other anymore.
Right. No more.
That was a nice Thanksgiving Day rivalry, but it's all in the opinion. And as I tell everybody, it's called Jay's Gimme 5, right?
That's right on the graphic we show. Yeah. Under 4 minutes to go. Watford finds him wide open. Drew Owens inside the 10, inside the 5, out of bounds at about the 3.
Now remember, with about 9-10 minutes to go in the game, I said Hampton was not going to be satisfied beating Howard 30-18, and then Howard scored. Typically in this situation right here, what's every other offense in the country doing? Running the ball
and killing the clock.
No. Rivalry game statement. No love lost between these two programs.
Connell Maynard, who's just in his 2nd season as the head coach at Hampton, is certainly well aware of what's at stake here. Watford gives to Garrett, and he waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Dwayne Garrett. First touchdown run of the year for Garrett. He had an 18-yard touchdown catch in their win over Kentucky State in the opener. Adam Brown adds on the extra point. 37-19 Howard, or I should say 37-19 Hampton in this battle of the real HU. Big night. Watford handed off. Garrett takes it to the house. 3:09 to go. Hampton Pirates smelling their first win in this rivalry game with Howard since 2010. Howard had won 4 in a row coming into this, but Hampton had won 14 in a row prior to that. The Pirates up 37-19, 3:09 to go, 4th quarter from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. TJ Mixon has kind of quietly put up well over 100 yards tonight.
This is the combination you're going to hear from for the rest of the season. They're going to give the MEAC opponents fits.
A little bit windy. Threw the ball off the tee. You know, we had a chance to walk on the field before the game. I got to give the grounds folks some kudos here. I really like the playing surface here at RFK. Dropped it to 2, picked up by Mercer. 15-20, 25-30. Mercer cutting to the outside, turns the corner 40-45 and out of bounds about the 48. And a late flag, and now we've got a fight. At least for a few moments before they are separated. Rodney Tyson of Howard. And the Hampton player involved in that, Leon Chambers. It looked like there may have been actual punches thrown in this. And here's the run back by Mercer.
You often see when the return men bobble the kickoff, they tend to run a little bit harder. Nice return set up, and as he's going out of bounds, just blocking through the whistle, they got tangled up. And
no punches.
Yep.
Cunningham back onto the field, and that last drive for Cunningham.
After the return, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, continuous blows with force. Defense number 80. Number 80 has been disqualified from the contest.
So it's Chambers, the one that gets the penalty. Leon Chambers is thrown out.
See him right there on the right side of your screen.
He's got his face mask.
Whistle's blown. It's Leon Chambers grabbing him by the face mask. Play is clearly over, and no need for that.
Gary Harrell there to separate Chambers from Tyson.
What's wrong with Chambers? You got to know better. 5th-year senior.
That's going to spot the ball all the way up to the 26-yard line.
Hampton's going to be a serious contender to try to make it to the Celebration Bowl, which is the big thing in HBCU football this year. They're going to have to do a better job with their penalties.
Yeah, where they spotted that seemed to be excessive as far as the penalty. And they're going to re-spot this. Yeah, they had it way too deep into Hampton territory. It's going to be at the 41-yard line. After the 15-yard penalty, they had run out about 25 or 30 yards. So first down for the Bison. Cunningham finds Jalen Avery. To the 32, just about a yard and a half short of the first down. Coverage by Darius Banks. Last drive was a pretty good one for Cunningham, starting to carry that momentum. There is a Hampton player down, and that's Banks who had the coverage on that last play.
And I'm a little surprised. I noticed he was still in the ball game. They're keeping some of the secondary players in the game, but they've taken out Grooms and Charles Owens. Banks is a starting cornerback.
We look at Cunningham's numbers prior to the last drive. He was 8 of 21 for 50 yards. Then went 6 of 7 with the touchdown pass.
And that was a good looking drive. I mean, what he did was he took what the defense gave him on that drive. They gave him the underneath routes. He found the timing with the hitch route, get it to the wide receivers, let them run for some more yards after they make the completion. So maybe it's a little bit of growth there, but you'll see, and it's something to work on. Now, will you have wide receivers that wide open? Probably not, but he made the throws that were called for to get his team into the end zone, and that's ultimately what you judge quarterbacks by.
Cunningham 1 for 1 for 9 yards so far on this drive. Air Force taking on Michigan State. noon Eastern time on Saturday. UConn, Mizzou, South Florida, Maryland. That's all what's up next on ABC, ESPN, and here on ESPNU. Hopefully it's just a cramp for Darius Banks coming off the field. Second and short upcoming. A second and a long one. The Hampton 32. Cunningham running and stapled down, lost the ball at the 29. Officials saying he was down. Hampton saying they have the ball. They're still.
He wasn't down. He got popped and gave up the football. Who recovers the football? Hampton recovered the football. And that should be Hampton football. As soon as he was hit, that ball popped out. Makes a decision to run and tuck the football. This is a pretty good lick put on.
Oh yeah, that's coming out. And try to start the next play, but now they get the notification from above. They're going to look at that.
Timeout, Hampton.
Well, Hampton has taken a timeout, I think, just to give replay official Ron Gilbert a chance to look at it. This goes back to your point, Jay, about this being a rivalry game. There's 2:13 left, and it's 37-19. It's like, I'll take another look at that. This may be Hampton football. There's still 2:13 to play.
Still coaching up his players, and as we see another look. It seems as if Cunningham gets turned around.
And he's going to get hit right there, and
they're coming out. But as soon as he was hit by McAfee, McAfee's had a good game. McAfee hit right on the football. Here comes McAfee, number 31, coming out.
Okay, but back to similarly what we saw on the other side not long ago. Is there enough visual evidence to overturn the call on the field?
I think that one's more clear. I mean, as he was turning, when his arms hit the ground, the ball was out. He got hit, and there was another angle you could see the ball coming out clearly.
The previous play is under review.
I wonder why it took him this long to figure out what Hampton was wanting to do here and accomplish. So now they're going to take a look at this. So let's take one more look. Okay, now watch his right knee.
Ball's out as he's going down. When he hits the ground right there, ball's coming out.
Yeah, you can actually see the ball coming out.
He doesn't have it. His arms hit the ground with nothing in it.
That's enough to overturn it.
Yeah. So this should be overturned. And I think now, you get to this point in the game, you ask, well, what's coming up for the rest of these teams this year? For Hampton, what do you think about Hampton? You saw the stats on the Richmond game a week ago.
Having the quarterback position where you know that you can pass the football when you need to is such a big thing. I think Watford's going to be a big deal for them this year.
Huge. I think he'll be huge. And when you see Howard, and we're going to see Howard again next week, with them, they still need to find that identity. Schematically, I think they can put some things in place to hurt you. They have to get healthy on their defensive line.
Yeah, they're so banged up on that D-line. Well, let's revisit our impact players from earlier tonight. Freeman really had a stage in this game where he got Howard back in the game.
Ripped off some big runs. And Charles Owens did his part. For a nose tackle, those are decent numbers. 4
After
tackles,
further review, the ruling on the field has changed. The fumble is recovered by Hampton at the spot. Hampton will not be charged a team timeout. 1st and 10.
Okay, now as far as this game is concerned, here's what I'm interested in seeing in everything you've told me about this rivalry. Up 37-19 with 2:13 to go. I want to see the play calling here and see how much they throw the football.
I think after the fumbles that they've seen out there, it's time to take a knee.
I would think.
I think it's time to take a knee. Now you have some folks down there in the Hampton Roads area that would love to see some more offense.
5th turnover committed by Howard, and the 4th directly from the quarterback Cunningham, either through a pick or a fumble. All right, with that formation, I think it's safe to say that Hampton wants to take it back to the Tidewater area and end this 4-game losing streak.
You have to be kidding me.
To Howard.
Now this will get some folks talking. Hampton's taking a knee, and Howard called timeout.
Their first timeout.
Impact players mixing.
It's been spectacular.
Good as advertised. Travis Brown, not a non-factor. Didn't play a great game. Didn't play a bad game. But now, if I'm taking a knee, and you call timeout,
now you're going to come back out and run and do set up like a normal player, are you not?
Yeah, this is not good right here. I completely don't understand this at all. Now if I'm calling a man, I'm still taking the high road.
For one more play?
I'm
What if they call another timeout?
I'm going to take a knee again. I'm going to take a knee. Take the high road.
Well,
take the high road.
I don't think he is. They're setting it up like they're going to run a normal play here. And Watford says take that, and that's intercepted by Trayvon Hunt. Out of bounds inside the 35. We're just adding more fuel for this rivalry, Jay, if not just for the end of this game, for next year. Gary Harrell, there was a season that he took off for personal reasons. So Howard's actually won 4 in a row, with Gary Harrell directly at the helm in 3 of those. So after taking a knee and then a Howard timeout, a turnover.
You know what'll happen? Coach Maynard will say, I'll never take my foot off the gas pedal again against Howard. And President Harvey's going to say, told you.
Cunningham to Freeman, a catch to the 30 for 5 yards. Under 2 minutes to go. Just more fuel for the fire on both sides, huh? Cunningham dumps it down to Freeman once again, trying to get to the sideline, but can't. He's also going to be a yard or 2 shy of the first down. Run down by Williams. Howard does have 2 timeouts still remaining. They trail it by 18. Well, it's still a 3-score game. Same play. Freeman inside the 15-yard line, a first down. Tackled by Barcian. Stop the clock to move the chains. Cunningham dumps it to Tyson. He's tackled at the 12 by Barcian. Howard not using either of those 2 remaining timeouts. 50 seconds to go. Cunningham juggled the snap just a little bit. Throws towards the end zone. He was out of bounds. Caught by Mercer, but couldn't get a foot down.
And the quarterback Cunningham took a pretty good shot there from Joshua Thorne. And see, this is what you risk out there. I mean, ball game's over with. 2 folks there taking them down to the ground. This game is over. You have to start thinking long term.
Cunningham underneath the Colvin. He's swarmed under at the 9 by Allen Ramsey. Clock rolling under 30 seconds. And now Howard will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Well, it's never boring, Jay.
I'm speechless, Mark Deal. You know, you like the 2 teams to play to the end, and that's what you're supposed to do. But what do you think? Because they're telling me I'm being biased.
You know what I'm thinking back to? I'm thinking back to an NFL game. I think it was Tampa Bay. Greg Schiano was the Tampa Bay head coach at the time, and I'm forgetting the exact circumstances, but he did something at the end of a game that upset the team that they were playing, and Schiano caught a lot of grief for basically doing what Flea Harrell and Howard are doing right here and extending the game when it appears obviously to be over.
You don't make a lot of friends doing that.
So 23 seconds left. Well, whenever these teams play again a year from now, the conclusion of this game is probably going to be at the forefront for all the kids that return in a year to play this game. Cunningham wanting to find the end zone, leading off the hands of Rodney Tyson. Well, I thought Tyson was about to get lit up by Justin George, who was coming over quickly. And they turn it over on downs. Well, first start for Jamie Cunningham. Shall we say mixed reviews? I mean, at least he finished strong, but
he has a skill set there. And he's got a skill set there. I think he showed some rust at times. He's got to do a much better job of securing the football. A little bit too careless with the football, either throwing it or running the football.
Takes the knee. That's going to do it. Unless Howard's going to use that final timeout. ESPN's 30 for 30. Elway to Marino coming up next. Battle for the real 8 shoes won by Hampton, 37-19 over Howard. Your final thought, Jay?
It's going to be an interesting season of college football in the MEAC. Hampton, early on, I said they're going to be one of my surprise teams. They didn't disappoint me. Watch out for the Pirates.
Pirates win it, 37-19 over the Bisons. For Jay Walker, I'm Mark Neely and our crew. Good night.